What up, peeps? How y'all doing today? Don't be watching no Sammy eating shit. I know it's about to start right now. Okay? We're going to fucking war. We're going to war, Alan. Do you understand?
It's not a war if we already won, but I thought he did a show on Thursdays.
Well, he did, but fortunately, Double Toasted switched yet again from the Thursdays and the Wednesdays, and they switched.
You guys are giving him way too much promotion that he needs.
I know. I'm sorry. Wait, what is that? Sammy eating shit or Sammy ain't shit? I don't know what the fuck it's called. I always fuck it up. Anyways, hey guys, how you doing? Hello,
I think it's Samuel isn't real.
Yeah,
Samuel. No, look, Chris is the real host, and Sammy's just a puppet.
Absolutely. Chris Herman, we love you very much, sir. I love you very much, and I will make sure to shout out you because you're a great guy. Class and the class ass full something.
Man, fuck Chris Herman. He's about to get a guillotine tough diss in my
yeah, Chris Herman, you're a great guy, man, but you gotta calm down in your politics because they go get you.
Oh, what happened here, Ganja? Did you go one-on-one with the?
No, I didn't have to because this is one of the things like I love
to show
in terms of like watching people argue and watching people debate. I don't like getting involved myself because it always turns to a fuck you, man, you're an asshole or you're a dumbass. So I tend to stay away. But when they start building up and right when it's about to start, I like to watch it and just see how it develops. But man, just people were going in on Chris Herman for his dumbass opinions.
Oh, I think it was on the show actually. He said something.
Yeah, he said something about Hillary and AOC. They always call it by the acronym, so I forget her actual name. But like, he's basically saying it's the same
person. Cortez or something like
Fuck
that.
Fuck it, AOC. I don't want to mispronounce your fucking name. So.
I know. But I like when I first saw people talk about it, because I don't even know what AOC stands for. I was thinking of like, wait, AOC, is that like a wrestling fucking team or whatever? They debuted on.
I thought it was a video game.
I thought they were talking about Animal Crossing.
Dude, you hoped it was Animal Crossing because there ain't shit coming out from that.
No,
there is. What are you talking about? They got Pocket Camp out, and they just had an update. So you're wrong again.
Roger doesn't give a shit about anything that's Nintendo, so I don't know why he cares.
You know what's weird? I don't know why you still have that issue too, because you know most of the games that you fucking like on the PS4 and Xbox and Steam even, they're gonna be on Switch with like new like abilities and shit. I don't know why you won't just fucking give love to that. What's your problem?
Fucking eat a dick.
Jesus Christ! And I'm so upset about it. I accidentally put the unnecessary gaming show on for a fucking second there. My bad, people. No one's actually even watching this right now, I don't think. But it's okay. People will come in the chat and start talking about shit. We are not going to do a very, very long show. We're just going to shoot the shit for a little bit and obviously do some reviews for a couple of things that we missed. Hopefully our stream doesn't fuck up during it. So sorry about last time. We were like really rolling too. I was having fun last fucking Saturday, and then everything just went to shit. I don't know what happened. I was crying. I was upset. You know, Ganja had to hold me, rock me back and forth like a baby.
I had to lick those sweet tears because they were emotionally drained with good energy.
Fucking Alan was just watching, jealous as fuck. You know, he's like, "Oh, look at the
fuck no. I immediately went to do schoolwork while y'all fucked off in the after hours.
Also, give Penelope her pets. She's begging for pets.
Yeah, y'all fucked up in the after hours, man. Apparently that shit just exploded. Apparently when I'm not around, that turned into a battlefield.
Al, listen to me, boy. You love that bird. I saw that bird asking for love. She wants a pet. God damn it.
Do you want a pet?
Andrew Stettel. Hello. I think I said your name right this time. What's up, man? How you doing? We got Hollow Man over here. He's saying he's always watching us. I like that. It makes me feel nice and comfortable, a.k.a. not really. That's actually very strange.
Oh, it's making me feel watched. I like that. I like being a little bit of a voyeur.
Yep. I don't know what the fuck you said at the end there. That's okay. But the thing is, though, yeah, we usually never know what Gunja's saying, but that's fine because if you do know what he's saying, you're gonna start judging him for the dumb shit that he actually does say.
If you know what I'm saying, you nasty as fuck.
Yeah, you get used to it.
Andrew. Oh, I learned it. I got it right. Andrew Stettel. Woo! I got it fucking right.
It just took me saying it 4 times last week for you to get it.
Yeah, which is actually so impressive because I never listen to what you say. So it's yeah, I still consider it myself.
No one likes you.
I don't know. I don't know the words to that song.
I hate that fucking song.
What song did that? Oh, what?
Fuck you!
Come out?
Not Ja Rule. Jason Derulo. My bad.
That would be the
fuck you, Ja Rule, but that's
song
ever
made. What did he say?
I fucking hate Jason Derulo so goddamn much.
When you hear Ja Rule's version of that song, oh, what you say?
Just get someone that can do a Cookie Monster impression to sing the song. Then you'll get a Ja Rule impression.
Actually, Ja Rule was actually not too bad.
Ja Rule's fucking awful, man.
No, in the beginning, Ja Rule did some good. Light It Up was a really good song, and he did that for a movie. What was the movie called? I think the movie was called Light It Up.
No, my problem with Ja Rule is never that like he was like, because again the lyrics he would often do was basically the same shit anyone was doing at the time. he always just sounded fucking awful. Like he was struggling to fucking speak, like he had laryngitis trying to rap. So I'm like, I just don't want to fucking hear your ass right now. Yeah, fucking Andrew's right. DMX was way fucking better doing similar things that Ja Rule's fucking doing.
Thing, though. You guys can't.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing the same thing. DMX was just way better with his fucking flow, and you can understand what the fuck he was saying. And when you want to fucking do his growly stuff, it actually sounded way better than Ja Rule barely being able to fucking speak.
He understood what DMX was saying?
Fuck yeah.
Well, no, but the thing is, too, is like Ja Rule actually.
Oh, you understood anything Ja Rule ever had to say about anything?
No, you
better than DMX. DMX will fucking sound like a dog barking the whole time.
Yeah, but he did that on purpose.
No,
Ja Rule didn't have a choice.
No, okay, for one, motherfucker like DMX couldn't control it. Bullshit. He had a choice too. But the thing is too, though, is that DMX, every song he did was like anger, like, oh, I'm fucking mad. Ja Rule was like trying to get the party going, trying to like, yeah, take your clothes off, baby. You know,
it sounded awful. He sounded physically awful.
I forgot who the DJs were. I mean, no one remembers names of DJs, but whoever was like behind the scenes with Ja Rule, they did pretty good too. DMX was good because DMX. Ja Rule was good because of people behind him, the unnamed fucking like, disc jockeys.
There's always the disc jockeys, the producers, the people that are making the beats. But at the end of it, the rapper's still very, very important because they're the ones that people are listening to as well. They're the people you talk about, you break down lyrics. That's why me and Gandhi are yelling about who can understand who more versus Ja Rule and DMX. Like the people behind the scene, like they're doing their jobs, but it's the rapper that accentuates it because, yeah, you can listen to a beat all day long, but then sometimes you want to hear some lyrics, some bomb-ass lyrics over the fucking actual beat that's going down. That's why we sit there and yell at rappers that are copying other people's fucking flow and rhymes because that's fucking important in a rap song.
I like how Rox in the Twitch chat, she was talking about how he sounds like he has marbles in his mouth. No, not the truth. Leave the man.
Give me a real friend.
Fuck
Ja Rule. I'll still never forgive him for misspelling Murder Inc.
Oh yeah, that's true. That was pretty bad.
Fuck you! I don't know how you got that passed. You wrote it down. You probably had to get it approved by somebody. You then had the paper probably in front of you while you were in the recording booth. People had to hear it.
You know what's
to make sure it sounded good.
Maybe I'm trying to go easy on Ja Rule because I just saw recently, it was like a few weeks ago, and he was at some basketball game. I was like, Florida, come on.
And nobody said anything?
Yeah, he was like, are you ready? I guess not. He just
I've been ready for 2000 to end, sir. Get off the stage.
Yeah. Dude, how about this? Fuck it up. You feel sorry for them? Fuck him even more because of the Fire Festival shit that came out.
Oh, yeah, you're right, too. Like, he's already villainized because of that fucking documentary that was fresh, as he went onto that fucking stage. So, I don't know. Is there any other, like, late 90s, early 2000s people that you wish would just fucking go away? Like, I'd still be happy if Exhibit was still around or Juvenile. I like those guys. But how about you guys? Like, anybody that
go away or stay?
To go away.
As much as I love Eminem, I want him to go, man.
The ones I've hated always tend to go away already.
Yeah, usually death.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah. Drinking and everything. But I'm surprised you said Eminem because I know you love your Eminem.
Yeah, my anime. No, I love Eminem, and I've listened to Eminem since I was a kid. Since the 8 Mile movie came out, that's I guess when a lot of people probably jumped on. He was super popular before her, and obviously. But the thing is like ever since Encore came out, and I liked Encore a lot. Every subsequent album after Encore has been worse and worse. Like I think fucking Recovery is a terrible album. There's one good song on Recovery. That's it. And then Relapse comes out. There's not a single good fucking song on Relapse. It is all trash. And then I can't fucking remember what the next album after. Oh, Revival comes out. Holy shit. Revival is so bad. He went and released an album 6 months later, yelling at everybody because, like, yeah, I know it's shit. Here's a better fucking album.
He literally said that?
Yeah, because he was pissed off at the reception of Revival so much. He did Kamikaze basically in like 6-7 months, and he basically said, okay, you guys like talking shit about me? I'm going to talk shit about everybody in the industry.
Well, that's his fault. He shouldn't put out a shitty album.
Yeah, but it's like at this point, it's like...
Are you gonna get mad at people for you putting out a shitty album, then try to insult them? Like, dude, shut up. How much more anger do you have? Do you still want to kill everyone in your life? Who's still that angry? Shut up.
That's the thing. He's not really angry anymore. That's what the last couple of albums of him trying to be a different person, but it's like it just doesn't work anymore. And you're showing an image in the Rabbit of all the albums. At this point, there are probably more mediocre albums than good ones. And that's fucking annoying as hell.
No, but it's just kind of weird, too, because he has so many albums, and I feel like every single one of these were at least a financial success, so it's kind of strange how, you're probably not the only person that's thinking, like, yeah, get the fuck out of here, Eminem. You know, so it is what it is. But
I'm
Jet,
thinking that.
Jet, clearly you wish Eminem would stay as long as fucking possible, correct?
I don't even know who the fuck that is. I still think you guys are talking about the candy. Like, yeah, I want those M&Ms to go. They stayed too long.
He
Don't
wanted
you
to.
talk-
He did. His initials. He did want to go by M&M, but then he was afraid he's gonna get sued by them.
Do you think that's why he did it too? Like one of those edgelord things, like, hey, I'm gonna fuck with the candy company. Hey, like let me
No,
just.
his initials are literally Marshall Mathers. So him calling himself M&M, like that's literally his initials.
I actually forgot like that's his fucking name because I was just thinking like, why do you want to have the same name as M&Ms? You love that candy that much?
Yeah.
Hey man, if I was the rapper, I'd call myself Dr. McGriddle.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, you know, Day
What?
in the chat, he's saying he says Eminem's worst selling albums are people's most hit albums.
Oh yeah, but
yeah,
they're still shit albums. Like,
Yeah.
Man, call me Master McFlurry Shakes, man. Me and the 5 Squad, number 5.
what the fuck?
Five,
No.
Mr. Five of the 5 of the McFlurry 5
Yep.
5.
Got the 5s of it.
Put 5 on it.
Guys over here ordering number 5 at the McDonald's drive-through 5 times. It's like Jesus Christ.
Hey man,
Plus
I
5
don't know
times
how it is for
5
me, man. I'm really intoxicated at a drive-through. I can't do shit.
Oh yeah, we were. Oh my god.
I ain't no
I'll
Gondra
never
Booker
forget that
T. I'm a
fucking Austin drive.
five time WCW champion.
I want that number 5 times with 5 McNuggets sauce, bitch.
It's like when you're playing like San Andreas and you're doing Big Smoke's order and he just skips. It's like I want number 5. Oh my god, man. Anyways, so I mean, I would just shoot the shit more and everything, but let's just go ahead and get into the topics and whatnot. And man, I woke up this morning, I saw fucking Lion King, I was hyped as shit, and I was hyped all day until I watched it again, and I was like, you know what? Not really that cool. Alan, you hate things as much as I do. Actually, probably a hell of a lot more than I do. What do you think about the Lion King, man?
I grew up as a Disney kid, as most kids probably did in the fucking 90s, early 2000s. But honestly, to me, I kind of grew out of Disney stuff, so I really don't give to me, I really don't give a shit about any of these live action remakes. There's not a single one. I want to watch Dumbo until I realized Tim Burton was directing it. And hey guys, guess what? That movie ended up being a piece of shit. So all of y'all that are giving me shit that Tim Burton does another fucking shit movie, and we should give it a chance. I hope y'all paid for your fucking tickets and ate shit afterwards.
Damn, he's telling people to eat Dumbo shit.
I know.
Yeah, they gave me so much. They gave me so much crap for fucking not wanting to see the movie because Tim Burton was directing it, and the movie comes out to be a piece of shit. So
But
I was fucking right.
You don't base it off of the actual fucking movie.
I was right,
You base it off
though!
Tim Burton.
I was right.
But you can't put it on just one fucking person. There's
But I
many
was
people
right,
making a
though!
movie. You can't base it on just fucking Tim Burton.
But I was right.
You might as well keep moving it, because that's what I was going
What?
to do.
No, what are you talking about? Go back to the Dumbo discussion, and I said, oh no, this movie's gonna be shit because Tim Burton's directing it. And all y'all like, no, he does a lot of good movies. He did this, he did that. The movie's gonna be great. It comes out to be a piece of shit. But we're not talking about Dumbo.
You know, I think it needs more racist crows.
Yeah, no. And here's the thing: is like this original.
Are
Dumbo
you about
was
to
shitty
defend the
anyways.
racist crows?
Look,
Like, what do you mean?
Dumbo
Okay,
was
okay,
bad.
no. If we're talking about racist crows, the Lion King literally has a fucking Nazi march during the fucking movie.
Yeah,
Don't
but
at me right now.
Now I'm gonna at you. That's a dumbass conspiracy.
Okay, if you two
What a
old
conspiracy!
motherfuckers keep saying
They're
don't
saying
add me like
highly.
you're 15 years old, fuck that. No,
No,
we're
look
in
at that shit.
2019,
Look up
Look, hold on. My fucking
Look up the
Jake,
fucking
I got
song.
a level 5 Jake. I'm gonna beat you at this conversation, bitch. It upgrades my charisma. Nick, sit down, be humble. Yo, there is no Nazi imagery in the
Don't add
goddamn
him.
original.
Dude, go look up the fucking song. I can. You know what the fucking song that I'm talking about, though. 'cause
I
haven't heard
know
it
the
off the top
song.
of my
It's
head.
just people marching and fucking.
Dude, they're
footsteps.
Sig Heiling.
They don't Sig Heil.
They literally do. They just.
Well,
Island,
you know,
Island.
they literally call themselves Nazis. They're just like, we're Nazis. It's obvious. We're Nazis. Did you
Dude, they were
forget
going for
part?
that shit, man. Don't fucking ever.
That
Don't
part is
fucking.
a non-Lion King. I used to watch that shit religiously, man. I used to sing the song as a 5-year-old, even though I had no idea what the fuck it meant.
I don't even know what the fuck you guys are talking
Anyway,
I don't know
about.
what the fuck
As
you're
far-
talking about
okay,
either, and I watched the movie
As far as
1,000
the
times. I have
actual,
no idea.
okay, let's go back to the actual thing. As far as it's concerned, like I have no like ill will towards anybody that's in this movie. As far as Jon Favreau's a good director, he's done a lot of good stuff. Iron Man, I heard a lot of people like Jungle Book, so it makes sense that he's doing this as well because it feels like, hey, we're gonna reuse some of the same sceneries. It makes
Yeah,
sense that they
pretty much.
picked him for this. As far as visually speaking, this is probably one of the best visual things I think I've ever seen. Like, this to me is on par from the trailer for Jungle Book. And I'm going to compare trailers because I didn't see either. I'm not going to watch this movie and I didn't see Jungle Book. But as far as how they got the animals to look, I'm like, yeah, this is probably one of the most beautifully visual things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
My only real complaint is when you first see a Scar, I literally had to ask someone, like, is that Scar? Because you see the hyenas and you're like, well, you assume this is Scar. but he looks nothing like the animated version. Like, because the animated version, he was very distinct in his colors and his mane and the rest of his body, so you could differentiate between him and Mufasa. The problem is, there's not even a visible scar. Like, they did that shit from Avatar: The Last Airbender, the movie, where it's like, oh man, this character's supposed to have this huge scar from a burn mark, but you can barely fucking see it. Like, you have to pause it and kind of squint your eyes, like, oh, I think he has a scar on his face. But it's really hard to tell. Besides that, I'm like, it looks fine. It looks competent. It looks like they're really putting, like, you can tell which live action movies are getting the better treatment based on the trailers. Like, this to me seems to be as quality as the Jungle Book based on the trailers. Because when you see what they did with fucking Aladdin, you're like, this movie's gonna be a fucking mess. Because it's inconsistent as fuck, where this is consistent.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I don't have nothing else to add that's not going to be something that you already fucking uttered. But the thing is, like, I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing that there's so much shit here. And I know it's not going to be the entire movie, but it's like, this looks busy as fuck, man. And it's probably going to be one little scene. But, I mean, all these animals look so fucking real, and there's so much shit happening, and I would be like, okay, well, it's gonna look cool for a second, but most of this shit's gonna be looking silly. But then I see War for the Planet of the Apes, and that movie looked so fucking good all the time, no matter how much action was going on, no matter how many characters are on screen. I know we're talking about this like it's a fucking video game, but like, seriously, it has to be hard to make all these characters look amazing all at the same time. Yeah. So I'm looking at this, and I'm fucking like, I'm amazed. But Jet, what were you gonna say?
Honestly, with movies like this, when it comes to like realism like this, like the closer you want to get to realism, you actually like kind of switch that out for basically all the expressions that were in the original Disney movie. Mm-hmm. Like the part with in the trailer with Simba and Scar right there. Mm-hmm. That was a really emotional scene, but like looking there, it just kind of like in the animated feature, like that was a really, really emotional scene. But here, like they're not able to make certain faces because, like, obviously, like real animals can't make faces like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's less humanized and less like emotional.
Well, yeah, they're probably just gonna get on the voice acting, and the imagery is probably gonna be more stuff like colors and stuff like that. Because you can see in the trailer when they're having the silhouette of them walking by the moon as he's growing up. I'm like, okay, they're gonna focus more on that than try to do like overly cartoony expression.
But see, on that too, and I want to ask Jet this really quick, is that many people online are actually complaining, believe it or not, complaining about the fact that this is too much of a shot-by-shot like remake of the animated version into this. And I honestly, when I was a kid, I've always wanted to see that. I'm like, dude, this would be so cool if it was live action. I want to see this exact movie, shot by shot. I want to see this remade as live action. Jet, do you have an issue with that? And do you understand why people are complaining about that?
The problem is people really don't know what they want. Like, if they basically turn it into something different, then people get mad. But if they keep it the same, people get mad. So it's hard to kind of find that balance. The only movie recently that I think actually found that balance was actually Jungle Book. Although the main thing was the songs were fucking terrible, so that was the biggest takeaway. But the thing is, they did change it up. They did keep it the same, but also changed up a lot to where I'm pretty sure it actually made both audiences actually really love it. And the thing also in that movie, they also did what they're doing in here in the Lion King, where like they're not going to have as many expressions because once again, they're realistic. But it still works, so I still have hope for this.
Yeah, and I have lots of hope for this too. Now, you know, Ganja, I know you've watched these things the longest time, man. What are you feeling?
I'm fucking hyped, man. I can't wait to be in the jungle, the mighty jungle with the lions sleep tonight. It's gonna be great. I like the way that things are kind of made a more realistic tone. But they're also gonna have people talk. You damn, sing it louder, Jet. Sing it louder.
Nah. Ganja, you're such an asshole. You talk so much shit about sequels and remakes until it's something you like.
That's how that works,
all right, I put that down there. Like, this is a biased ass of fucking opinion, man. It's like when a Republican goes to a fucking like hardcore rally with Donald Trump. Of course, I'm gonna come with my MAGA hat. I'm gonna show up with my Timon.
Is that supposed to help your case or make it worse?
I know. I'm saying he just referred to himself as a fucking like right-wing conservative.
No, I'm comparing myself in terms of like how they get all dressed up and they get all wild, they act all crazy. That's how I'm gonna be at these fucking events, man. I'm gonna wear my Lion King shirt. I'm gonna have my fucking Pumbaa cup from the '90s. I might even do face paint like Rafiki. I might refrain from that.
That might be racist.
That might take on negative connotations. You're right, Alan. But I am excited for this fucking movie. I was a huge fan of it. I watched the fucking tape every time I would go to bed from between the ages of 5 and 8. So I'm acquainted with the storyline. I like I think the casting has been on point. And maybe Beyonce Knowles got me a little bit iffy because she wasn't great in Austin Powers. Jet, I really love the girl, but she was trash in that movie.
Well, this is a voice acting role where they're going to be singing, so
that's
okay. But she's
that's
okay. The singing's going to be fine.
But everybody else so far has been on the point with the roles they've chosen. I love the fact that they brought Mr. Jones himself back to play Mufasa, because that is I think he's the first one to actually have to be able to play himself in remakes and in sequels that are like 20 and 30 years later from the actual product. So I find that fucking fascinating and very cool. I'm kind of iffy because I haven't seen no dialogue, I haven't seen any talking, everything's kind of been set pieces, and then the last little tidbit of Timon and Pumbaa singing at the end. But besides that, just seeing how the characters move and how realistic it looks like I'm watching a live action version of an Animal Planet that's been skewed to like, it's like some documentary film people somehow found this like one blue part of Africa where they ate all the fucking different animals talking shit. And it's just they followed them to this epic story. I like the design. And I think it looks really good. I hope it ain't no Dumbo shit like Tim Burton, like Adam was talking about earlier. But I think this is one of the more properties that Disney cares about, because I think this is the one that got closest to an Oscar film. Mm-hmm. So they know like this is the big bread and butter for them.
This is one of the situations too where I gotta say, like, just like Blade Runner 2049, anytime you actually pause this fucking trailer, it's something that could be your wallpaper. Yeah, it could easily be a wallpaper. Like, I mean, I'm saying that like almost like a joke, but I'm also saying that in the sense of like, that is some beautiful shit. Like, I'm not really one of those guys who cares about like shots and all that cool stuff. Like, you know, it's whatever. Cinematography, I know it's important. I just don't give a fuck about it. This, I mean, if I was a lesser of an asshole that I am, this would probably bring fucking tears in my eyes, man. Like, this is actually some beautiful stuff. So that's super fucking cool. And Jet, what are you laughing at? You laughing at me? You trying to make fun of me and my fucking emotions?
Like after Gunn just said that thing about Animal Planet, all I can think about is just some white dude basically just with a camera just following Simba around and shit.
No, this isn't the Tarzan fucking movie.
And basically just doing voiceovers, just like, and here his father's dead, and now he has to run away from his pack.
And then the other lion's a complete fucking asshole who threw him right into the fucking wolves.
And the lion.
This is a magical experience. I've never seen a predator hang out with two preys. They seem to be smoking some kind of weird leafy substance.
And then we got Alan upset that Ganja's making yet another joke that he doesn't get. And then the Chuckle Brothers laughing at each other's joke.
No, but I do get the fucking joke. It's not funny. Alan, like a lot of Ganja jokes.
Here we have Alan, who wasn't even supposed to be here today.
If you move the camera slightly to the left, you can see Alan getting taken right in the jungle vines.
I'm sorry, Alan. I'm sorry that this whole entire thing's happening to you right now.
I'm sorry we don't use lube, Alan.
Oh my fucking God. I hate it. I really hate you guys.
I'm sorry, Alan. Shit.
Hey man, hey, look, if you want false respect and not this real shit we give to you, you can always go back to one of us.
Aww.
Hey, fuck you!
Why you gotta do that?
I'm talking about one of us, man.
By the way, too, we're not one of them. So, like, he's gonna leave us. He's gonna be with his fucking new homies, and then we're gonna be without Alan. Then I gotta pick on you at Ganja. That's not gonna be good.
No, don't worry.
We're one of those other guys.
No, just get Julian to replace me.
Oh, now don't give Julian a hard on in the chat. So anyways, really quick, I'm just gonna look at the chat really quick. We haven't really given them a whole lot of attention, and love you guys very, very much. Ryan Walterson saying Eric Andre is voicing one of the hyenas. He's in a Disney movie now. Let that sink in. Is there some kind of, like, yeah, is there some irony on that? Because I don't know if Eric Andre was talking shit about any kind of like Disney movies or anything, but I love Eric Andre, and I think he's a great fucking comedian. Voice work? I never really heard him do any voice work before. So
he was I keep getting the show wrong. I think it's called Disenchanted. He was one of the characters. He was a little devil on Disenchanted, wasn't he?
I don't remember, but that he would be great for that fucking show. I'll tell you that much. Let me see. Days was talking earlier about M&M's. Oh no, I read about that earlier. Not M&M's, but M&M and ownership fucking lettering there. Spreadful Eagle Day. What the fuck are you talking about, Concha?
He's like, yo, you're just like those Republicans that like say they hate lobbying, but as soon as they get into office, they just get every lobbyist as possible to finance their campaign.
I think obvious, by the way. That's a great word. That sounds great.
Look, man. You know what? I'm trying to explain myself, and that's not working. So I'm just gonna do this.
Jesus Christ, that wasn't. I can't tell if that was a bit or you just don't know how to talk right now.
Fiji is fucking. Hey, look, he makes that shit look
I'm
delicious.
still trying to understand that sentence.
Stop spending so much fucking money on water.
Why? What's your spending money on good
That
stuff?
was like the last thing I thought you'd be like. Stop spending all your money on.
Motherfucker spending like $5 a bottle on Fiji water. Go to the fucking store and get the pack of 24 for like $3.
I was expecting him to talk about either like whores or fucking drugs. He goes, "Stop spending your money on water." What
No,
what do you want me to
expensive
spend my
water.
money on? No, Fiji's good, man. You gotta stop hating on the
Fuck that
expensive
shit. Nah,
waters. Just
fuck,
because
fuck the. It's water, motherfuckers.
you judge it on just the price instead of the actual fucking
Yeah!
drink itself. Like,
You-
that's-
Judge it on the real thing.
Motherfucker.
That's
The
because he's
bottle.
a cheap bastard. Like, why do y'all keep
Not a cheap
arguing
bastard. Just
cheap
because I want to spend my
bastard?
money on stupid bullshit doesn't make me cheap.
motherfucker,
Yeah,
how many
no.
games have you bought? You buy Ubisoft games. You mean spending money on dumb shit? What the fuck are you talking
Hey,
about?
okay, first of all, I enjoy those. And that's at the same price as the other fucking game. It's not like Ubisoft games are magically more expensive than another fucking game.
Really? Because consider, I'm not,
Consider, hey, Devil May Cry was released by Capcom, cost the same as much as Assassin's Creed Odyssey when I fucking bought
yeah,
it.
but I get
So
the full game when I get Devil May Cry. Fucking Ubisoft, like with Assassin's Creed, like to get all these extra fucking like weapons and storylines and DLC, you gotta get another $50.
yeah, I love. Okay, you didn't fucking play that shit because I haven't touched a single fucking DLC storyline. And I'm already like 80, 90 hours into the fucking game, and I think I'm almost fucking finished.
In my defense, I'm talking on my ass, Alan.
I know you are.
Dane in the chat, he says, unpopular opinion, but Big Fish is the only good Tim Burton movie. I disagree heavily. I think Nightmare Before Christmas is great. Corpse Bride is
That's
great.
not a Tim Burton movie. He only produced it.
I would say Nightmare.
fuck you.
Corp, and then Edward.
No, he is not the director of that movie. He produced it.
Okay, then fucking... Okay, now Jordan Peele did direct us, huh? Shit. Okay, I was gonna say he produced that too.
Hey, I'm not even arguing with you. I love Big Fish.
But I was-
Big Eyes was okay.
Yeah. Wait, who? Big Guy?
Big Eyes.
I don't fucking know what that is.
Oh, that was that weird thing about the paintings with the big eyes, and it was really fucking creepy.
Yeah, basically it's about this woman who painted these pictures, and then she gets married to this one dude, and he starts taking credit for her work.
Damn, that reminds me of somebody. Watch this show soon.
Thomas Edison.
It's called Big Eyes. That's literally just the name.
Yeah, Big Eyes.
Okay, because I'm gonna show this really quick, and I actually want to watch this movie, but it looks way too
Is
fucking.
that Amy
creepy.
Adams? Oh.
Yeah, it's a Tim Burton movie. Hopefully, it's not just some produced movie. This is some creepy shit, dude.
Wait, is that fucking Christoph Waltz?
I believe so. I don't know.
Shit.
I like how you know the names to all these very generic-looking white people. Like, I'm
Amy
sorry.
Adams, because I don't know. I've not so much followed her career, but like, she's okay. I fucking love the shit out of Christoph Waltz. He's like one of my favorite fucking actors.
There's a part of this imagery over here in Big Eyes, like you look in the back with all these pictures that's drawn behind that face. It looks like this is a sequel or prequel to Brightburn. How that kid's drawing all the fucking pictures and whatnot. Like this looks kind of similar to that.
No, this reminds me of fucking something Velvet Buzzsaw or some shit. Whatever
Yeah,
that fucking,
with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, the movie that just came out or is coming out soon. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it already came out, but it was on Netflix. It was a Netflix original. Which, by the way, too, I like how the Netflix originals are making movies that you still feel like had a theatrical release. Velvet Buzzsaw, I think people would.
And they're still trash. They still have a 90% trash rate when it comes to Netflix original movies. 90%. They have some good ones. But I know Christian will cut anyone that doesn't like Roma. But fuck 90% of Netflix original movies. I bet you guys can't name 3 good Netflix original movies.
Okay, Bright, and then what? Don't talk
fucked
shit
up.
because you're gonna say that just because
You should
everybody else
have
was
gone
fucking
full
wrong.
retard with me, man. You would have saved yourself a good minute.
Well,
I
good
went
for
with
you.
both y'all. I forgot that Nick's the only person that enjoyed Bright.
I wasn't the only person, dude. Why do you think they're making a fucking sequel to this goddamn?
Because it was on Netflix and they don't understand that people just watching it because it's there doesn't equate to people watching it because it's there.
Dude, I'm
What?
sorry, but listen, this movie. I'm not saying it's fucking amazing, but like, if you okay, let me ask you this: you didn't spend money on it. You didn't have to go to the movie theater for it. You watched it, and you still say it's just as bad of a movie. But dude,
Wait, so your bar for it being decent is I didn't have to leave my house?
yes, that's actually very important, dude. Because you didn't have to
No,
go
it's
anywhere.
not.
Yeah, because okay, let me ask you this then: if Game of Thrones was a theatrically released show, okay, if you had to go to the movie theater for Game of Thrones, would you look at it as positively as you do from just sitting back at your house chilling?
Yeah, because I like the show.
No,
The
if
quality
you
of
had
the
to go
show
watch
speaks for
that
fucking
bullshit, if you had to watch that shit at a fucking
You're
movie
the one
theater
that
in a big screen. No, I'll say the same thing about Walking Dead. Walking Dead's good because it's on TV. That production quality, if I saw that in a fucking movie, that would be garbage as fuck.
No, because
like,
again, I'm looking again when I'm watching Game of Thrones, I'm enjoying the story, the acting, the dialogue, and yeah, the set pieces. But they didn't really start doing like the crazy, super like $10 million fight scenes until like fucking season 5, season 6. So what were you there for Game of Thrones? You're there for the political intrigue. Like same reason why you probably watched Borgia. It being like me paying for it versus me seeing it in theaters, like money does not fucking influence. I'm not gonna give something a better score because it was cheaper. That is some stupid bullshit. Because half the time I watch movies for fucking free, and I still rate them based on the quality of the fucking movie.
Because another thing
so
too is like Gerald's Game is another situation there too. It's like that movie's shot well too, and it looks fucking amazing. But the movie, this girl just lays in her bed for fucking 2 hours, and then
okay, they could have done that in a movie theater.
I know,
that
what
would
you
have
guys,
sold
you guys
a
all
half-man
forgot
movie
about Beast of No Nation.
127 hours with what's his face, James Franco, is basically like, except for they both do some weird fucking crazy mind shit, but he's stuck on a rock for the whole fucking movie.
It wasn't a huge release though. That's different. And plus,
but it was still
Netflix wasn't a big deal. Beast of No Nation is when everything first started getting like treated like with respect as far as Netflix goes. That was like the first movie. And keep in mind too, put this out there as well, Roma. Most people like that fucking movie because it was also on a Netflix movie. I guarantee you, if that was all just theatrical, there's no fucking way that movie would have been
man,
considered
because
to be
again,
as big
that
as
might
it
be
was.
you, but not a lot of people are gonna sit there and be like, well, because I watched it in the theater and I paid money, it gets a lesser score. That's honestly, I don't like that mentality, because that mentality implies that money is the only reason you like it or dislike it. If something is free, it doesn't automatically make it good.
It makes it better.
No, it doesn't. That is
That is
bullshit. Okay, one example of like I've bought a lot of games over my fucking time, and there are times where I bought games on the PC and I fucking hated it. Then when I bought it cheaper on the console, I still fucking hated it because the game fucking sucks. Me getting it fucking cheaper does not make the game fucking better. Me not paying for a fucking movie doesn't make it better. If someone gave you something for free, it doesn't make it good.
Stop
It doesn't make it better than no, because you always do this shit.
Hit him harder, Alan.
And you still haven't named 2 more fucking good Netflix original movies.
I did.
Wait,
You named Bright.
You said name 3, and there's basically he's named Gerald's Game, Beast of No Nation, Roma.
Oh fuck! I forgot he watched Beast of No Nation. I thought I'd get him.
Yeah. Fucking booty
Well,
hole.
well, according to you, you
There's
only like
been one
because
that came
they're
out
free.
recently that was also like pretty good, but I'm pretty sure no one here watched it. To All the Boys I Loved Before was actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, I never watched that shit.
Yeah,
So,
Nick didn't watch that shit.
I had to think about that. I was like, is that she just making announcements to our exes? Like, what the fuck?
I know, like all my boys I used to love. I'm like, well, what movie did they fucking make? Like, by the way, I don't
The
like
thing is,
those
I
motherfuckers.
still win the argument because the only reason Nick liked those movies because he didn't have to pay for them.
Well, you do have to pay
you.
for them. You have to pay for Netflix.
Yeah.
He paid $14 a month and was able to see 3 fucking movies for free. So
Yeah, but
therefore
I
he
bought
liked
it
them.
for Bright. Oh, by the way, too, I also named Bright, and I fucking love Bright. So fuck you.
Yeah, no, that's what started this entire discussion. That you only
Yeah.
liked it because it was free.
But that's 4.
What are you
That's
for?
movies. That's
I don't know. I
4
hate
movies.
to say
Hey, free fucking movies. Stop adding to it.
And then Ridiculous 6 with Adam Sandler. It was
You
amazing.
didn't. Oh, don't you fucking lie to me.
Yeah,
You
don't
fucking
name
lie.
it.
I'm really on Nick's side, man. If it's free, it kind of gives it a better chance to be like, oh, I like the movie a little more. I didn't go out my way. I didn't spend the money. I didn't feel like a waste.
Oh,
No, that's some
oh.
bullshit, man. That's
And
some
then-
biased ass fucking reviewing. So someone paid you. What shitty movie you saw last year? If someone paid you to review it, does that mean the movie's better?
No, I gotta bring something up really quick. What's that fucking movie that I remember, and we recorded this shit. I can't find the episode, but one day I will when I have some extra time.
Sure you will.
You, motherfucker, you talk shit about that thing, I think it's called Next Gen, with the little girl and the fucking robot.
Yeah.
And you
No, I
talk
didn't.
shit. You motherfucker. I
You
snatched
still have
Canadian
never
out of you.
found that video.
Because I
And
don't
by the
have
way,
the time.
By the way, me talking shit, yeah, because it's not real. Me talking shit about the trailer versus me liking the movie after the fact are 2 different fucking things. We say that all the fucking time that sometimes we see shit trailers for good movies. I didn't like Next Gen because it was free. I liked it because it was a good fucking movie.
See, this way you don't.
Do you want to restart that sentence?
Yeah, of course I do. I fucked up.
Don't worry, I'm gonna like wind them up. Give me a second.
There's a snake in my boop, boop, boop. No, so here's the thing. Alan, you don't understand. You don't know that you did not fucking like this because of the lack of money.
What?
What happened was, if this was a theatrical release, I know I fucked that up. God, just shut up. Just
No,
shut
because
up,
you're the
Ganja.
only. You're speaking from a fucking point of biasness, where the only reason you're giving a thing a better score is because you have to pay less fucking money. What's the quality of the fucking movie?
All I do
What
is
about
work. Oh, fucking
No, I'm
day,
fucking
Ganja.
taking my victory. You're down on the ground. I'm kicking your ass.
That conversation was so like 30 seconds ago.
I just want to say the best part was I thought he was gonna have a point. He was like that, and then that's the reason.
Don't worry, I'm taking them back to the shop.
No, fuck that.
Yeah, you gotta get through his skull that money doesn't equate a better or worse movie.
Next Gen was a movie that none of us took seriously. Even I didn't take it seriously, but I knew it was going to be good because I don't care about.
Oh, don't you lie! You're the
I mean,
biggest liar in the world.
I mean, to be fair, like I still didn't watch that movie throughout, so honestly, I have no opinion about the movie.
But look, Jed, look at this.
Well, why'd you point off that?
No, because the thing is like this actually looks really pretty and it looks really good for a Netflix movie. That's the thing that's important here, is that for a Netflix movie, it looks good. If this was a theatrical release, you would be like, oh man, that's some cheap-ass animation.
It was going to be a theatrical release, but there's too much swearing in the movie.
That's not the reason why I didn't have it in theater.
No, that's literally the reason for the fucking movie.
Okay, you're right.
This is a fucking Chinese production, and they were gonna send it over to the fucking West for a theatrical fucking release because all the voices are in fucking English. But the problem was there's so much swearing. And Ganja, you remember the fucking dog? I think that's Michael Pena as the fucking dog. He's cussing throughout half the fucking movie. So that's why they didn't put it in theaters, because they didn't want to fucking rate it. So Netflix bought it up because they knew it would be fucking good. And yes, I would have said, oh, it's a Netflix original movie. I bet this movie's going to be trash like most of them. We end up watching it, and yes, it was a good fucking movie because of the quality of the fucking movie, not because it was fucking free. I watched a lot of garbage for fucking free. We will go the after hours.
Were low. Your expectations was low. And then you see
my
a movie
expectation
like
was non-existent because I knew it was gonna suck. It was able to supersede the fact that it was gonna fucking suck. Half the movies we watch in the after hours, no one's paying for. Some of those are theatrical fucking releases.
Hey, we pay for all our movies in the after hours. What are you talking about?
Yeah, sure the fuck we do. No, to prove my fucking point, we do not pay for a single thing in the fucking after hours, and all those movies are still garbage.
Okay, you know,
We pay with our time.
I'm gonna ask you for a favor really quick, Alan, and seriously, I know we're doing a show and it's supposed to be funny and everything, but I need you to be serious now, okay?
What's up?
Legitimately, 100% honest opinion. I know you want to get crazy with this, but the sand. We knew that this was gonna be some dumb shit.
Yes.
But watching this movie, did this not actually entertain you? Where I was like, you know what? This is like not a below 3 out of 5 stars movie. Like this is actually kind of good.
No, it's not. It is awful. They spend 95% of the movie sitting.
No, bullshit.
They might as well have just done a podcast.
Okay, dude, so what the fuck is Jaws then? When they're just chilling inside of a fucking boat
I've
the whole
never seen
goddamn
Jaws.
time? Oh, God.
Oh, don't say that in the after hours.
I don't give a fuck.
Oh, hold on. I gotta
Do not say that in the after hours. I am warning you.
We're
right
not
now.
watching Jaws in the after hours.
I think we're gonna have to watch Jaws in the after hours now. I think you
fuck
fucked
that
up.
shit.
Yeah,
Y'all
I
have fun
think
with that
you-
shit.
Do not let Gertz hear you say
They
you
spend
haven't
90% of the
seen
fucking
Jaws.
movie sitting, and instead of doing anything interesting, they kind of just bitch at each other and put on deodorant or sunscreen or some stupid bullshit as they just do nothing. And then a random character shows up 90% of the fucking movie, talks like he's a fucking idiot, then dies for no fucking reason.
Yeah, but there's
That
points in
fucking
the
movie is
where there's
trash.
So much special effects is being done here, and even though
That were
cheap special
awful.
effects, no, they were good. Everyone in the fucking after hours, there's 20 people in there, and they're like, "Oh."
They were all saying this is shit. They're all saying this is
I'm
garbage.
just saying,
You're the
Peter
only
Parker.
one.
Yes, Peter Parker, The Sand. It was a good fucking movie, and don't let people like Alan treat this movie like it's some kind of Oscar.
The only reason Nick likes it is
was
because
actually
when he
good.
popped into the fucking movie, somebody gets killed in a horribly gory way, and ever since then he liked the fucking movie because Nick is simple like that.
It's a horror movie. What the fuck you want to do? You want them to have a good fucking.
I don't know, something more going on.
Okay, Joe Pesci.
Just
Something,
like, what the fuck
I don't
does
know,
it
an
want?
actual something going on. Like they spent half the fucking movie sitting.
I don't even know what the original
fucking
argument
sand
was.
is
I'm trying to
in
find it.
No, 'cause Nick does that sometimes, where he's like, "God, you talk about movie goalposts." Nick just
Don't
goes play a
put me
different
here.
game.
Don't put me
No,
here.
watch
What
it.
the fuck's going on?
Nick, instead of moving goalposts, Nick just plays a different game. He's like, "No, we're not playing baseball anymore. Here's a football." What?
Me and Gandhi are just over here, just kind of dumbfounded, like, what the fuck are they even talking about anymore?
I'm just saying.
No idea. What does the sand have to do with anything, by the way?
Hey, Alan, how about this? I'll agree to disagree.
Oh, fuck you. How about that? You agree that this is some bullshit, that money should not dictate the quality of a movie.
I think my whole
What the
point.
fuck are y'all talking about?
I'm
The
sorry,
entire
guys.
point of this movie, the entire premise of this argument is whether or not paying for something changes the fucking outcome of a
See,
review.
that's not actually what I'm
And
saying. See, what I was trying to say, basically, I know I said it the wrong way. Listen, I might be a little mentally handicapped. Here's the thing. I'm stealing it from Alex Jones. But no, the thing is like what I'm trying to say is sometimes you go into a movie and you have low expectations because of the whatever the fucking medium that's on. Like if you get this movie as a B movie or something or whatever the fuck, like you're like, oh well, this is gonna be trash, but I'm gonna watch it as trash, and then it'll do something that's like, oh shit, that's not trash. I was expecting trash. So now this thing that I think was gonna be shitty, it's the same thing that I said with Rent. Rent is a movie that everyone talks shit about. When I watched the movie, it wasn't torture to me. So I'm like, you know what? Rent's okay. Not a big deal. Words of Virtue. Everyone freaks the fuck out. Words of Virtue is the worst thing ever. It's not for me. I watched the movie. You know, it was alright. It's just a stupid movie. The Sand. It's a movie about evil sand that eats you. I was expecting some way worse shit. The movie was okay.
Okay, but that's a different discussion than how this started off with, because it started off with you saying the reason, like, the Netflix movies aren't as bad as they are because they're not theatrical release, so you're not paying for them. You're basically getting it in your house and you don't have to fucking leave. You talk about the Sand and the quality of a fucking movie is what you bring into a fucking movie. Me saying that the Sand would have been garbage if I fucking sat down and watched it in the after hours versus if someone told me to go to a theater to fucking watch it to review it. It would be the exact same fucking review.
Hey, Jed, I got a question. Are they arguing over actual Sand?
I don't know.
It's rough and coursing gets everywhere.
I might as well be just sitting here with my thumb up my ass. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
And
that's basically a good way to sum up. That's a good way to sum up the Sand.
Exactly. Which, if you don't like thumbs up your ass, unlike Alan, you would like the Sand. So it's okay. I agree or disagree with you. It's all good. But here's the thing: we are going to disagree about a lot of other shit most likely because it's time to get into Flex and Chill. And good God, hopefully it doesn't go the way it has been so far.
I'm going into sleep mode.
No, you better keep your ass right here because we're talking about some stuff. By the way, too, I didn't know Facebook chat was going on. I'm sorry, Facebook chat. And hello, Zoe. Hello, Max. Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching on that end. Hopefully I get this fucking... I'm going to try to get the YouTube thing working while Alan changes his red undies or whatever the fuck he's doing.
No, red underwear. How would anyone ever know?
I don't know, baby.
I hate you.
That was actually really fucking...
And you wonder why I don't want to go to Miami.
Hey, you come to Miami because I'm going to take that ass.
You know, speaking of that, Ganja, why don't you tell people about this whole Miami thing while I'm actually getting shit set up over here?
Well, guys, we got something planned a little bit. Me, Ruthless, and a couple other people were playing the original, shipwreck that happened that was also known as the Double Toasted Cruise. So, now that we're trying to get everybody around, the survivors that are stuck there on the ocean, we're trying to get core people group together, go actually down to Miami, hang out as a group of friends, and maybe actually do a podcast and film some stuff for you guys for either Twitch, Facebook, or even the good old YouTube channel that you guys are watching on as well. And, just try to brace up, I guess you would say broaden our views and just brace ourselves for the idea of actually starting to go out and travel more to you guys and actually possibly try to do a little bit of a live show. I don't know how much of a live show. We're not going to do no double toast shit or nothing that you see like the big type of YouTubers do, but more than likely, what we are going to do is something smaller in terms of hanging out with you guys in certain areas that we can actually want to always visit or actually get to. Because one of the problems is you don't try to ask us to go visit you in the middle of Russia or Ireland. We ain't got the money for that yet. Until we got a Patreon set up or start getting paid by the K Cool Man himself, we ain't going to make it out there.
You're going to disappoint all the people that are in Ireland listening to us right now.
Yeah, we got.
That's why I put Patreon and K Cool Man. If y'all want us there, those are two sources of income.
Wait, why would you do the Patreon to K Cool Man?
No, I'm saying give us a Patreon or call. Why, Alan? Shut up. Sit down, be humble. The point is,
where do I put my money?
Apparently sent it to Corey Coleman.
Jed has the fucking wallet out and everything. He's like, fuck it. I guess I'll keep it then, you confused motherfuckers.
The point is, we're planning a Miami trip. We hope y'all can come down there and hang out with us. We'll let you guys know more as the days get closer. But in terms of like everyone hanging out, we got a core group of people that we're gonna hang out, shoot the shit with, go on fun ass little tours, and do dumb shit.
Yeah, you might be able to actually see how Ganja used to fucking live. It's gonna be like his own roots, fucking. I don't know whatever the fuck. Not Roots the movie, but like his actual roots. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm so fucking sleepy. I want to go to bed. Can I go to bed?
Wow, just stop, man.
I'm sorry. I'm running off fucking momentum, Alan, and I don't got a lot left.
BBM, if we do a Patreon, I know one of the tiers is you get to fuck Alan.
What?
Yep.
That's prostitution, sir.
No, you're not paying for the sex.
That's illegal in most states.
You're not paying for the sex, you're paying for the company and the expectation that he might throw that busty throw at you,
I'm actually kind of curious. If you guys were going to get paid or actually... Yeah, someone will pay you to do cuddling. Would you actually do that? No, that's actually the thing. I'm actually being serious. There's a cuddling thing that you pay people to cuddle with you. Okay, I guess they don't want to cuddle. Well, that's fucked up. I would have done it. Jesus Christ.
How much?
Like $50 an hour.
Oh, yeah.
But you have to cuddle with anybody, like porno Chris level of fucking people. Like you gotta.
I'm gonna need the TV on.
Well, you can also choose the motherfuckers that you'll cuddle with, like.
He'll have to pay $70.
Do you guys think that they actually choose though? Like they send, they give him pictures like, hey, you gotta cuddle with this guy, this guy, this guy, and it's like, no, not him. Like I don't know.
Yeah, probably. This isn't like some fucking like hookers in like fucking the 90s. Hey, I'm pointing you to person. It's like no, they do probably get a choice in the matter.
I don't know. I think that's just a little like I don't know. There's just too much freedom there. Because then like who the fuck would you ever cuddle with? Like I want to cuddle with this person. Like you guys got a model or anything? Like,
then you wouldn't do the job then if you weren't okay with it.
That's true. I wouldn't make any money. That just answers my whole fucking.
I think I would base it off a smell. Like if they had a certain odor.
Look at scratch and sniff pictures.
Like sometimes you can tell. Or like if you're doing the thing where you meet them face to face, you're just like. So usually your charge is like 50, but then you just get that little whiff and it's like. No, anyway, it's actually $100 per hour.
You know,
what 6 cents do you have that you can? Well, fuck, 20%.
It's yeah. What sense do you have that you can tell someone stinks? I don't know, Nick. We should probably explain it to you after the show.
Fuck you guys.
No one told me.
Wow, bro.
If there was ever a train wreck on this fucking channel, today is the train wreck. Holy shit.
Oh, no,
dude, we've already been off the rails enough. We just about flew off a cliff too.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, this morning I watched Hellboy. Speaking of train wrecks, you know, I gotta tell you, I've been talking shit about this movie for so long, I never got to watch it because I was being.
Wait! You've been giving me so much shit about Hellboy for like a year, and you never watched it?
Yeah, I've been blatantly lying.
Oh, you mother! Oh, you! I hope Spawn reboot comes out and fails.
Okay, for one, it ain't gonna fail as bad as Hellboy.
You're right. It's not gonna come out.
Okay, well, actually, it's already being made, motherfucker.
Oh, did Tarvin finally get the 45 cents?
Wait, so if it doesn't come out, then it's not gonna be worse.
It's not gonna be worse than fucking. People are really hating it. Hellboy remake, by the way. It's getting. Really
I have no idea why.
Yeah, it's surprising. I think people are just kind of mad that it's not Ron Perlman and it's fucking David Harbour instead. And I think David Harbour looks pretty cool as a Hellboy.
He does. He looks really good. It's just again, it's so weird because like I want to watch it because I want to know. Like I'm not reading the reviews. I'm just gonna check it out because again, I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. I like the I would say Hellboy or yeah I got it right. The fucking Hellboy movie. So I want to check it out to see if it's as bad. I hope it's not. But maybe it's a situation where people just like. Hellboy is such a weird commodity that they don't really know. Like people just don't know how to deal with it. So maybe that's just the case.
And that's the thing. Like, if you guys are curious about what even Hellboy is, basically it was based on the comic book. Obviously, most of the things we talk about in this fucking show are based on comic books. But basically, the movie starts off, and it's the 1940s, and Nazis are taking over, whooping ass, doing all the fucking thing. And obviously, and it kind of reminded me of Overlord. If people remember Overlords, once again about Nazis.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Called bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, and basically, like, what the Nazis are doing is they're trying to go out of their way, doing, like, scientifically enhanced shit to, like, create bigger weapons to take over more so the entire fucking world. And there's this character, this main villain that you already know is going to be the main villain. He starts talking about how he's going to open up the 7 gods of chaos. So you're like, oh, shit, this is going to be kind of an epic thing because he's going to bring all these 7 characters onto the screen. It's going to be a big fucking super fight. And... you know, just, I don't know, they weren't Americans. Who were the guys who actually stopped their
they were.
They were Americans? Okay.
Yeah, because you had the doctor there that was dealing with a bunch of Americans, as you tell by the uniforms, and they're like, oh man, I don't even know what no occult shit is. I didn't know what paranormal was till yesterday, like shit like that.
Yeah, and one of the professors, or one of the guys that's actually leading this entire, like, you know, secret organization, they get, you know, they intrude and they invade this entire situation and prevent this big fucking scale issue happening. But while they were doing this, they were already opening a portal to get these 7 gods of chaos to come out into our world and take over. And they stopped it just in time, except for one particular fucking guy went through the portal, and it was a baby, and it was Hellboy as a little boy. It was really nice and cute, and it was like, okay, right away, dude, as I'm watching this, Alan, I'm like, this is fucking silly. They're feeding this fucking thing candy bars.
I feel like I feel like I've seen that opening before, where it starts off in 1940s and does something very similar, and then it jumps to the future. I just can't put my finger on it. Like it just feels very.
X-Men 3.
Not really. Okay. Actually, yeah, that's actually yeah.
Magneto, you know, it's during the Depression, I believe, right? And then like he's kind of being held.
Oh yeah,
by guys, and then I think they take his dad, or do they kill his dad, or do they take his dad away?
They take his parents away, and then he starts kind of like grabbing the fence and shit.
Yeah, he's like, oh, fucking A. And he's moving metal, but yeah, he doesn't use the metal to kill the fucking bad guys. I don't know.
Well, dude, what are you talking about? That's when he first gets his power. He doesn't understand what he has.
Yeah, but still, like, you know, if you can start turning shit around, like, why don't you, like, I don't know, like, go get your parents. Like, fucking, the fuck. But anyways, Hellboy has this big-ass fucking fist, and you don't really understand why the fist is even a big lead until the very end of the movie, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Yep. But yeah, you think this is going to be cutesy, and then you don't see Hellboy for another, like, 15, 20 minutes. Like, it goes into the future, and you just see, like, and what I like to look at is the prequel to The Shape of Water. They have this fucking fish person inside this case. By the way, too, when you saw that, and I think the name is, what, Abe Sapien?
Yeah, Abe Sapien. I think they named him after Abraham Lincoln. But one of the things that I liked about the movie is it immediately wanted to establish, because a lot of times, especially with newer movies nowadays, we see that whenever they have side characters, they completely ignore them because they don't want to focus on the main guy. And one thing I did like about it is like, okay, we know Hellboy is the main guy. We know that's why you're here. But these people are also very important. They're all doing the interesting, unique things. So I really did enjoy the movie's slow pace of like, let's establish this world. Let's establish what's going on. Hellboy's been around. He's been doing shit for a while. What's he been doing in the meantime for like 60 plus years? Well, he's been fighting monsters. How do you know that? Well, the guy that rescued him knows all this monster shit. So I'm like, okay, oh, by the way, there's also other weird shit. Like this, the guy from The Shape of Water is literally, like, it's not even a fucking joke. It's identical to The Shape of Water.
Yeah.
So... And I really enjoyed just his character. Because that's actually one of my favorite characters, the Fish guy, because he's just kind of interesting, and he's able to speed the plot up really easily, and everything he does makes sense. He's a telepathic fish dude, so everything that goes can be explained through that.
Yeah, man. Professor Brunholm, the main character of this, you know that he's getting sick, and he's basically like, I guess, like the dad of Hellboy.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, is as he's getting sick, you don't really know what's making him sick. I mean, I don't feel like it was actually explaining as to why he was.
It's just cancer.
Okay, yeah. But Hellboy doesn't know. So Hellboy's still being a douchebag, and he has his mindset on certain things. He even actually, like, what he's actually there to do is almost like a job, an unpaid job, but they always release him from his fucking cage, and they have him go and take down aliens or monsters that are out there in the real world. And they show, like, little news feeds of, like, oh my god, sighting at the Hellboy, like he's fucking Bigfoot or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is cool. I like that aspect, too. But then it's like, you see him so often around humans and out there in public, fighting with everybody. That's almost like, why are people still looking at this like, oh my god, it's a sighting of Hellboy? He is shown so often around humans that, don't you guys have like a really good fucking, like, a video of him or something? Or like really nice pictures? Like, he's out there all the fucking time.
So the movie establishes that, and they talk about this, a lot of dialogue is what I like, is that the reason is because he's usually, like, they do a lot of this movie, like they get a garbage truck and drive it to the scene so that they're able to cordon off the area. A lot of the stuff we see in the movie is stuff that he's not used to because things are running around and he's doing all sorts of other stuff. And that's where it's like over the course of this movie, he's not supposed to be doing this shit. But prior to the movie, it's like not been as big of a deal. It's been little things like, oh, there's like this random demon in this random closet in the middle of fucking nowhere. Well, no one's going to see me here. Oh, wait, that person saw me from a half mile away. Well, that blurry photo, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Then that's why one of the guys says, this is the 5th time he's escaped. And it's like, it's a fucking problem if he gets out. That's why he has to keep fucking lying to people, saying, no, that's just to do the costume. Because that's what happens in the movie. It's like, oh, these costumes are crazy, right? It's like, but Hellboy's kind of an idiot. And I like how this movie kind of shows how he's just kind of lucky. He's not really good at being stealth. He's just kind of lucky that people aren't going to believe this dude and probably just think of the costume for most of it.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's kind of frustrating to me is, like, I feel like they kind of, like, move so... I mean, granted, the movie is not going to be, it's an hour and a half long movie, so we're not going to go too crazy with the fucking, like, explanation and everything of this world. It's just one of the situations, though, where it's, like, the movie wants to be funny and do the comedy thing, like the comic book comedy thing, and then it also wants to be dark, and then also wants to be, like, there's so many deaths in the movie, and we won't really get into that too much. Believe it or not, I feel like people are actually going to go back and watch this in preparation for the new movie, so I'm not going to, I guess, spoil anything, but there's some very, like, serious deaths, and there's a lot of deaths of the characters in the movie. And it's like, oh shit, like, every time it happens, it's like, oh my god, like, I don't see this too often in these comic book movies. There's usually, like, one big death at the end. This has many. But then, like, right after something happens and you get the sad music and everything, all of a sudden Hellboy's being funny again, making jokes, or just being like, oh, I don't give a fuck. And that's one thing that really bothers me about Ron Perlman's Hellboy. I don't know if it's different with the sequel. I didn't watch the sequel. But did you have an issue with the fact that every single time something happens, he just blows it off like it's fucking nothing?
Not really, because I think that sometimes it just didn't always work, but then other times, like, you could see it's like, yeah, this stuff does affect him, because like when he's losing a friend, it's like it is really affecting him. It's just sometimes when it's like, well, I gotta kind of get it, I kind of gotta get over it, or something else kind of like bothers him. He does do that, but I just think that that's just part of it. It's like when Spider-Man kind of does that shit, where it's like it's not as overt, but it's just Hellboy's kind of weird because he's not human. He looks human because it's Ron Perlman, but he's kind of this weird demon, so he deals with emotions very differently. So it's like, yeah, he gets over it a little bit quicker than most people would. But I still like Ron Perlman's performance for the most part. I felt like he was a bit wooden, though. That was one of the things that are like, oh, I remember being a bit more charismatic. But I'm like, maybe as the movie goes on, he gets more and more charismatic. But at the start, it's like he's saying like 5 words like, hey, how you doing? What's up? Ow. I'm like, okay. As the movie goes on, okay, you're starting to get there. But man, there are some way worse people in this fucking movie. I'm gonna wait for you to talk shit first about some of the other people in this movie before I jump on that.
So I don't know the character's name, my bad, but there's a person who comes in as basically an apprentice to Professor Brunholm.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
He's trying to, I guess, get close to Hellboy because he knows that in the future he's going to be the next handler for whoever the fuck the Hellboy is, or even these characters. Like he's probably going to be doing this for many of these creatures, these freaks, I guess. And he is such a fucking wimp. Every single time he does something, it feels disingenuous. And I don't know if it's a bad acting or if it's a character that's supposed to come off as disingenuous.
A little bit.
But it's just weird. And then there's like a situation where there's this other freak, and I'm not saying this to be an asshole, like that's what they call themselves, are freaks. But there's this character, this female named Liz, and Hellboy is basically in love with her, and they broke up for whatever the fuck reason. I mean, you can just put that piece of the puzzle together.
Sure.
But this new guy, this new handler, this apprentice, is constantly trying to fuck her. At least I think he's trying to fuck her. I don't know if it's an accident.
A little bit at first, but the thing is, what I liked about him is, usually when we have that character, because that character is supposed to be an avatar for the audience, it'd be like, oh, this is what we would do. Like he's basically is doing his job properly. Like he's immediately like he helps Deadpool. Man, why do I keep saying that? He helps Hellboy immediately, and I kind of liked it because it's like, yeah, this guy's clearly in over his head, but he's able to accept things pretty quickly because he's like, well, I kind of like he accepted things almost immediately. But he's always able to help in a certain way. It's like, yeah, he's basically just trying to fuck Liz the whole fucking time. But as far as him actually doing his job, I'm like, okay, they didn't do the whole Justice Smith situation or characters like, oh, I'm gonna start screaming every 2 fucking seconds. Ah, monster! Ah, Hellboy! Ah, fish monster! He's like, okay, cool, fish monster. Cool, Hellboy. Holy shit, that's a monster. Let me shoot at it. Like, he's basically very competent at his job, and I really like that because if this was made today, that character would be screaming his fucking head off.
Yeah, he'd be Shia
like,
LaBeouf.
Yeah. You'd be Shia LaBeoufing basically the whole fucking way. I'm like, good. You got someone that kind of looks like that. They'd be that character, but they're actually really competent at their fucking job. Almost everybody here is really good at their fucking job, with the notable exception of somebody else. I'll wait for you to talk shit.
Yeah. So the thing that I have an issue with is Liz from Hellboy. That character, I gotta tell you, it's not just her. I'm not gonna blame it all on her, but this special effects of 2004, y'all. She has this blue fire. I fucked up there. I'll change the scene over here. There it is. This blue fire, people, is something that they spend a lot of time on because apparently for 2004, this must have been fucking cool. I don't see it being cool. And this is weird because you can tell there's 2 different people working on this movie. There's a team that's working on her fucking CGI. Then there's another team that's bringing the Michael Bay like authentic effects. So she'll like shoot her weird fake blue fire ass shit, and then like around her is a big, yellow, fiery, like, holy shit, that's a real pyrotechnic, explosion. And it's fucking weird because she's always acting extra sad. She's always, like, really hamming it up that she's this fucking angst. Like, I don't know, like, I think she's too...
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Did you say she's acting?
Yeah, no, she...
Because I didn't get a single fucking... Hey, I'm kind of sad and fire and stuff. Dude, you want a good comparison? She's almost as bad as Silk Spectre is in Watchmen.
Yeah, and believe it or not, I know what you're talking about. I don't know that character by name, but I can just put it in my head. I remember this fucking character being really terrible in Watchmen. So, yeah, it's fucking weird, man. And I'm not one of these people that, like, hates on some of these, like, teen angst type of people, but she looks too old to be doing teen angst shit anyways.
Well, they kind of throw in that she's in a mental institution because she's unstable or some shit, but I'm like, you are so unbelievably boring that you're probably the worst actor in this fucking movie. Like, by fucking far. Because, like, the head of the fucking paranormal division that this movie is, And he's like, yeah, he's basically doing, oh, I'm in charge, listen to me, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're kind of hamming it up. At least you're doing what your character's supposed to be doing. I never got anything of Liz. Liz is just the woman that needs to be saved, which you see so much in these fucking early 2000s, even to this day, comic movies. She's just the woman that needs to be saved. And then maybe she saves the hero at one point, and then immediately needs to be saved after again. It's like, that's her entire role, is to be saved.
And that's the thing that's frustrating about this, too, is like, you know, that other character that you're talking about, there's like, I'm in charge. Well,
Yeah.
the movie knows that you're not going to like his character. So it's like, even if he hams it up as an actor, it's like, well, yeah, fuck him. Like, asshole. This movie is like, oh, this audience is going to love her. Every time she's on screen, it goes not slow, but it's like, it's very soft. It's very like, hey, you guys feel for her. La, 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 music, soft speaking. And it's like, movie, do you know the bitch that you're creating in this fucking movie? Do you realize that, like, she's not likable at all? And then all of a sudden the movie just wants to go, hey, by the way, she's like the most toughest, most badass bitch at the end of the movie. And I'm like, okay, is she a fucking victim or is she amazing?
Both.
You know what I mean?
Because the movie does both. It's one of these tropes that I really, really fucking hate in movies, is when they get the female character, she's only there to be the object of the main character's affection. She then becomes a literal object that he has to save. She gets one moment where she's like, ha, I get to save you, to then immediately get captured and be saved at the end. That's her entire arc.
Save me!
Literally, you might as well be
Wake
playing
me
Evanescence.
up.
It's literally the Evanescence music video. It's like, that bothers me so goddamn much because, like, I don't know what they're going to do in the new one because they have Mila Jovovich and she basically acts like a wooden piece of wood. I wasn't sure how I was going to end that, but I'm curious because she's at least, like, we've seen her in so many movies where she doesn't really try. So I'm curious. I'm like, it's not like you can do a worse version of the character, but I'm curious to see if you could at least do something different.
Yeah, no, and I hope they do. And honestly, I feel like they will. I mean, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to be negative all the fucking time. It's just like, this was 2004. You got to realize that back then, lots of these female actresses were like this in these movies because the comic movies are for the young dudes growing up like, yeah, I want to get the girl, and yeah, I want to be awesome, and yeah, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, it's almost like a fantasy for fucking little boys. Like, it's just, you know, I don't like that shit from back then.
Nah, I can still be mad at that shit. Like, I'm not going to be, like, retroactively like, oh, Hellboy is sexist. Like, no, I just hate that trope. Because you saw that trope a lot in the 2000s, obviously. But you also saw movies like, as much as I hate the X-Men movies didn't really ever do that. They kind of had everyone working as a team, kind of doing their own fucking thing. So it's like everyone was kind of treated equally. So it's like, I hate the fucking X-Men movies. So I'm not sitting there, like, nostalgically giving that shit credit. Because I don't fucking like those movies. But those movies at least did something very different within that genre. This doesn't, and it's like, back then, it's like, I never even remember the character. This is fucking why. There's almost nothing that's interesting or important about her, where it's mostly focused on Hellboy, which is fine, because Hellboy is cool, especially as it goes on. But one of the things that I noticed is, like, boy, this is really slow-paced for a superhero movie. We're so used to superhero movies being over the course of, like, they're over the course of an afternoon, some bad guy shows up and goes, I'm going to do things, and then does things, and the main character kind of just beats him in a big, epic, like, fight over the city. This, like, has, like, a bunch of different peaks and arcs and lulls. I'm like, wow, this feels very different than movies that we're used to nowadays. For better or for worse, because they beat the bad guy in, like, 5 minutes. Well, like, this is some Revenge of the Fallen shit.
Well, the thing that frustrates me the most is, like, you know, as we're talking about this, people, I make sure to, you know, do everything where I was like, hey, like, this is about this one character from the Nazis, 1940s, and they're building this portal to bring in, you know, the 7 gods of chaos. Well, tell me why that the only god of chaos, which I don't even think this is a god, is just one fucking character, and they copy and paste this fucking monster over, and they explain it. They do explain it, but just because you explain doesn't mean that I don't realize that you lied to me in the beginning of the movie. Like, you try to tell me the plot, yeah, we're gonna get these 7 gods of chaos in here. I'm like, oh, cool. Where are gonna be these villains, these characters? Oh, they're not gonna be in here? Nope. So, well, what the fuck?
Well, that's the thing. Like, those that weird dog thing was never a god of chaos. He was just a minion that was really hard to kill. Like, his entire thing was like, he's just really, really hard to fucking kill. The gods of chaos was something they're trying to bring in near the end of the fucking movie, and it's like, okay, they just didn't bring it because they're too fucking powerful. That's just like, hey, this is some magic that the guy had.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. Like, that, like, when I was watching this, I was like, okay, this movie is definitely rented. I mean, it's cool. Like, as I was getting into it, I mean, there's things that I really did not like that made me, like, mad. But then when I got to the end of the movie, I was like, okay, like, this is the part where we're going to earn that rent, and I'm not going to stick here because of this fucking ending. And then I didn't get it. I just got a bunch of the same shit. For that, this is a stream it. This is not a good movie. I got to put this out there. It's not. I won't say avoid it. I think there's many things in there that's going to be kind of cool. This might be something that's compatible or competitive with the remake because people are complaining about it a bunch. But yeah, this is kind of like one of those things that show that formula of comic book movies that I can't fucking stand. I don't like this movie, and I don't like the stuff that came out after Dark Knight until we get to like the later Avengers movies and shit.
Right.
This was one of those bad standalone films, and I'm actually surprised that Hellboy got popular from this fucking thing. I know it's the comic books that did it, but still, I'm very fucking shocked.
People are like it was like the Walking Dead comics. They are around, but the show really fucking blew it up.
Exactly. But what do you think, man?
It's funny because one of those things, like, as I was watching, I was like, "Oh my god, the cinematography! I can see shit from Batman Begins, The Matrix, Blade. Like the ending is just like, hey, we took the set from Blade and just set the fucking movie here." But it's funny because it's like, oh my god, like superhero movies have fucking changed so drastically, and in some cases they changed for the better. Where they managed to establish the side character, like they managed to establish better main characters. Like nowadays superhero movies, like hey, we have better main characters, we have better set pieces, we have better action for the most part. But funny thing about Hellboy is Hellboy has better side characters. You actually, except for Liz, we obviously did, but everyone else that helps Hellboy out, you get to know them. You actually get to know their personality. They're not just people here for fucking reasons. Like they actually have something to do, as opposed to like this is some filler for the fucking plot. And that's something I really did enjoy. But there are so many things. I felt like so many of the movies were copy and pasting the almost identical scenes. Like there's a scene in this movie in which the main character is on a rooftop spying at his ex-girlfriend or woman he's interested in, and has a conversation with a small boy. Now, if that sounds familiar, that's because I just described Batman Begins.
Yeah.
The exact same thing happens. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I know a lot of movies like to take similar set pieces and similar beats, but this is literally you just take the exact identical fucking scene and just did it again. I'm like, holy shit. We definitely differentiated it, but we also made it a bit more formulaic. But it's like, I guess superhero movies have always been formulaic to a certain degree because you got to get from a point to a point in order to get the beats going. Mm-hmm. But overall, I did enjoy it. There are things that I remembered that I liked, and there are things that I liked watching it again, but the things I also fucking hated. One thing that I hope that they fix in the Hellboy movie, and I think they are, is you can tell that they spent so much time on practical effects, but they didn't actually realize that it's really hard to move in these. So a lot of the fight scenes are very hard to see. Some of the ones are fine, but you can tell they're moving as much as they can because it's really hard. Like there's a fight in the subway, and the guy that's in the weird dog outfit, you could tell he's trying to fucking throw fists. Like, ooh, this was not designed to fight in. Yeah. This is just designed for a look. Like, if they're standing still, they look fucking dope as hell. Dude, Hellboy standing still looks fucking amazing. That weird dog thing standing looks amazing. When they try to fight, you might as well just get a bunch of dolls and smash them together.
It's like a miniature of like fucking what's that, Pacific Rim? Like they're moving like those fucking robots, except they're our size. So it's like, what the fuck?
Pretty much. But I think there's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I remember definitely like I know why this movie got popular. I definitely give it a rent it. If it shows up on Netflix, definitely check it out because I think it still holds up surprisingly enough. It holds up better than probably a lot of movies from that time period have any right to because I think they focus so much on practical effects versus special effects because the special effects border from that's okay to oh my god, why did you ever go with this idea?
Yeah, and it doesn't get that bad luckily. But the thing that does get pretty bad, man, and we gotta get into it. Shazam! Man, gotta tell you, I wasn't hyped about this movie. There was a couple times I was like, you know what? I really hope that this is gonna be good. It looks funny. I want to laugh for once with DC movies. It's cool, whatever. And I got some of that. But the thing is, this movie took itself really fucking seriously. God, I'm gonna ask you, man, pacing of the movie and just the tone of it. Did you have an issue with how serious it was taking itself in some parts versus others?
No, because I felt like most of the time, like this one thing I'm kind of going to go back to a lot is it's a very Disney-esque movie. Like if you guys ever remember growing up watching the Disney Channel movies with a lot of superhero or kids find out they have like a niche power or something that makes them different than other people that they use to their advantage. This is pretty much the same play-by-play story, even down to like, hey, I got a special needs kid that's my best friend that I learned to be like, oh, I got to appreciate myself. Because not everybody has them, and like everybody else's life sucks, and I gotta appreciate what I have. It comes down to a lot of that stuff as well. When it comes to pacing, I think it was really well paced, honestly. Like the reason I bring Disney-esque is when you watch those Disney movies, unless it's like something really boring, they go like they're either an hour plus, maybe 2 hours the most, and they're very entertaining. And they go by quickly, and I just kind of felt with Shazam. But my big problem with Shazam is it was another regular ass superhero movie. The same thing I complained about when we saw the trailer. The same thing I've been complaining about when it comes to a lot of superhero films is it's basically the same shit over and over again. Down to hey, we got to stop this bad guy that has a big glowing thing in his hand. which again is what it comes down to. We have to get the one thing back from the bad guy. If not, it's going to keep some of the demons. It's going to be the end of the world. I'm kind of like, it's whatever, you know, I'm kind of getting tired of these superhero tropes, but it was entertaining. I like the idea of the kids aspect. That was actually something a little bit new to the element. Hearing the kids fuck around and hearing them joke around as kids, and just seeing them, like, it was like an enjoyable kids movie within the DC universe, which is a different change of pace from all the dark, gritty, Batman killing people, Superman killing people kind of movies that we've seen later. That's more for adults to like late teenagers. Where this one you could take your little brother to, and honestly, I don't think you have a problem.
So the issue that I have with this is like starting off the movie, and there's gonna be no non-spoilers, so I'm gonna try to be as vague as I possibly can. But you start the fucking movie off, and it's like something happens that when I was watching, I was like, "Oh shit, DC, this is still kind of intense." And then all of a sudden, like the happy music, and all that bullshit happens. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. And that reminds me of Transformers, the first one, where you start off with that helicopter fucking killing people, literally murking people. Like in an army base, in the military. And then Sam Wickie's walking around like, oh god, okay, I get to work. Oh god. You know, and it's like, it's doing that shit again with Shazam. It's like, you know, the hijinks of a young kid, and then, you know, something happens, and I will spoil this part, but like, you know, he steals a cop's lunch. And the fat cop is like, oh, that's my meal, and that's his fucking concern, versus like this thing that the kid just did that he should be fucking more concerned about. Then, literally seconds, a really sad scene, like seriously, it actually got to my heart. Yeah. Like, I was like, if this movie was actually a very serious movie, that would have been effective. Like, I would have had to kind of like look around and see if I can cry a little bit. You know what I mean? Because it was really intense, and the music was really sad, and I was like, damn, I just got a horror movie, a comedy, and a very effective drama in literally 5 minutes. What the fuck is happening? So it's like already now, no matter what, no matter where you go, whether it's going to be good or bad, it's going to be divided in 3 different parts now. So I'm like expecting this movie is going to be shitty in some ways, in two ways more than the one. But as far as the action scene goes, man, I gotta tell you, every single time, and the trailer shows pretty much all the action. I gotta tell you guys that right now, except for the ending, which we will not get into at all. All the action's in the trailer, so know that shit. But man, Alan, I'm gonna ask you, dude. When there was flying involved, what'd you think about like the camera view in front of the person's face as they're flying through? Because I was thinking of Turbo Man from Jingle All the Way.
I wasn't really like, when it comes to a lot of special effects, it really never bothers me as long as you do something interesting with it. Because again, I watch a lot of superhero shows on television, especially CW, and yeah, CW doesn't have the fucking huge budget like a fucking movie does or some other TV shows have. So when they have people flying, I'm like, sometimes it looks great, sometimes it looks really bad. But to me, it's like, what is around the actual CG that's going to get me going? And as much as like some of the, I felt like some of the flying was cool, but then other ones I'm like, oh, this isn't that good. But I didn't really care because there was stuff going around it that I was interested in.
Yeah, because like here's the same people, and like I know Alan's gonna say, okay, it doesn't look exactly like that, and I agree with you already, Alan. But there's a couple scenes, and I thought of this the entire time I was watching. This Arnold scene when he's like as Turbo Man trying to save Jamie and Jingle All the Way. This looks better.
Yeah. No, it doesn't look better. But I can see what you mean, the similarities to a certain degree. Because like again, it's funny because this isn't like fucking Captain Marvel. Even Captain Marvel had way worse. Holy shit! You want to talk about the fucking flying? You should see Captain Marvel. This movie really comes in on a moderate budget, so it's like I'm okay with a low budget movie. I'm okay with special effects not being the best if we're able to do something around it. And the stuff around the special effects, I'm going to say this, the stuff around the typical superhero things that God's just talking about, that's what I enjoyed a lot better. So the effect, again, Andrew just said that the effects didn't bother me because there's something else in the movie for you to focus on. Sure. This was a situation like some stuff that's actually in the movie later on. Like there's enough stuff, especially the first hour of this movie. I'm like, you know what? I don't care that some of the effects are not good because some effects are really good and then some acting is really good.
Yeah, and there's some impractical stuff that's pretty cool. I mean, I like the stuff that was actually filmed through a phone, and that's in the trailer where, you know, he's trying out superpowers. But then even with that, too, and I guess I could say this as well because it was also in the trailer, you know, his friend, Freddy, he accepts the superhero shit way too fast. And that was something that really bothered me. Like, I was literally, like, pissed as fuck because they explain, and by the way, Freddy's a good actor. The kid who plays Freddy,
yeah,
he was fucking awesome. Everyone's actually pretty good at acting, I will say. But the problem is, though, it's like everyone reacts too realistically to like the idea of, holy shit, that was a Thunderbolt. Holy shit, you look fucking terrifying as an adult at my window saying, don't say nothing, blah, blah, blah. But let me go ahead and just tell you, hey, dude, try to fly as soon as you tell me you're a superhero. It's like, hold on. Like, this was a actual movie for a second. Now it's just fucking stupid and literally the quickest amount of time you can possibly give me. Like, you can spend another minute maybe trying to, like, no, trust me, man, I'm actually Billy. I'm not the superhero. I'm not this an adult. Like, there could be some kind of, like, discussion. Not just, I'm a superhero. Okay, can you fly? Like, the fuck? Can I fly? I'm a fucking grown man. Like, this doesn't happen every day.
Yeah, you're a grown man. That was my best friend to 15 a few minutes ago. Like, if fucking Ganja randomly shot lightning out of his hand, you goddamn right we're going to do a bunch of random experiments.
But the first thing I'm doing, right, I'm lighting a joint with it.
But
as you electrocute yourself.
But I would say this, I'd be like, hey, Ganja, so what drug did you do that made you turn into fucking Shazam? Like, just out of curiosity, before we try to fly.
Good old meth, baby. I hit that free ball.
The reason that didn't bug me, like, I'll say, like, it was him believing his friend took a little bit, but him accepting that his friend was a superhero, it didn't bother me so much because it is the first thing we get from Freddy, the first established thing we get from Freddy is he is obsessed with superheroes. He's almost as obsessed with superheroes as I am. And he's almost doing it in the same way of, like, if Ganja became a superhero tomorrow, you goddamn right I'm getting a fucking note and pad, and I'm not going to put it on YouTube because Ganja's going to fucking expose himself and I don't want to get in trouble with the FBI. But you goddamn right I'm going to do a bunch of experiments. Like, I'm going to sit there and be like, okay, what's the fucking limit? We're going to get a fucking battery. If you overload the battery, I know how much voltage you can fucking send out because I know how much voltage overpowers a battery. Like, you goddamn right we're fucking doing these fucking experiments.
And one thing I have an issue with this too, I got to tell you, Zachary Levi is fucking awesome. Loved him as Shazam. But when you're playing a character who, he's Billy. He's just a grown version of Billy. Right. Billy is so fucking boring and so awful. He's such a piece of shit kid. I can't stand that fucking kid. You will not turn into Zachary Levi. Like, their personalities, like, I think, like, Zachary Levi didn't get to see Billy's parts because he's like, I don't even know how to, he's like Jim Carrey versus, like, I don't know, John Cena or something, like, or Arnold, or I don't know. Like,
no, they are very, very different, and I think that
it's weird. It's almost where the one kid is Billy's kind of brooding, and when he does Shazam, it's almost this hyper-esque kid that's like really loving the world, just really trying to make jokes, really trying to be all out there. Whereas the Billy he's not Shazam is very insecure. He's very into himself. He doesn't really talk to people. Matter of fact, when he first meets his friend, I forget the character's name, but when he first meets him, he's kind of very shut off and pushed off, and even robs the dude of one of his cherished memoir things of Superman. So it kind of shows you that it's a different dynamic when Shazam happens, and I don't know if they're going to touch on it later, because the movie just sets itself up later for more sequels. But seeing it as a standalone film right now, it kind of goes unexplained. It's kind of a little bit of a plot hole.
Yeah,
I think they should have explained, because, like, you see he's very, very closed off, and usually people that are very closed off, that's not how they are in their heads. They're like, oh, I'm kind of a little energetic in my head, but I'm just afraid to ever let it out. I really wish they kind of had at least some dialogue, because it's funny, because when he's a kid, he's a different character. When he grows up, he acts like Freddy currently does.
Yeah.
Where he's super excited, and he acts like a different character. And I think that the movie should have established, either through the wizard explaining how this is going to work, or somebody going, this is getting out your inner desires, because you want to be outgoing, you want to go and have fun, but you're too afraid because you're so focused. Because they do kind of explain, like, you're so busy running away towards something, but it does feel very, very different. And probably one of the biggest, like, I have a lot of criticisms with this movie, but that's probably one of the biggest criticisms, is that I don't hate the kid. Like, I don't hate Billy when he's younger. I like him better as Shazam, obviously. But there is this weird, gigantic disconnect. I'm like, you really should explain this in the next movie.
Yeah, like every time Billy's on there, I'm like, oh, fuck, it's this movie. And then Shazam's on, like, oh, right, it's this movie. And Billy comes back, I'm like, ah, fuck. It's just like, every time he changes to being the kid, like, the movie ends up being a different movie. It's like, I think Shazam is the reason why it's a different genre. And it's like, and then the villain is a reason why it's another genre. I mean, there's a death scene in here that's like, holy shit! Like, this girl's screaming like, ah! I mean, it's like a straight up horror movie scene.
Dude, I was like, is this a fucking PG-13 movie? Because, like, usually when that situation happens, and I expected, I was like, oh, you know what's gonna happen? Poof, dust. Because that's usually what happens. But I was a legit, like, that honestly haunted me for the whole movie. Yeah. Like, that image did not leave my fucking head for like an hour.
And it's funny too, because like that particular character, it's someone that you don't even give a shit about. Like, for one, she's a terrible actress. I was like,
doing her job.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, always like that was definitely ending. or like it just ended really quick and you had to worry about it. But it's like, okay, so you did that, so we're gonna expect that again. Nope, you don't get that again. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck was that then? It sticks out like a sore thumb.
No, you get some stuff that's similar, not as visceral. That's probably their one F-bomb. We're like, oh, let's have this one brutal death, and we'll still say our PG-13 movie as long as we don't do anything else, because they do some pretty brutal stuff, especially as they go on throughout the movie. But it's one of those things where I felt like the villain was really effective for about 30% of the movie, because there's a certain scene after the boardroom scene happens. He basically fucks off for like 45 minutes and then comes back and just like is like, I'm after you for reasons, and that's it. I'm like, really, you were kind of good for a while. Like, you were good. You were not sympathetic to a certain degree, whereas like we can get where you were getting at. You were pure fucking evil, which is great. I was like, good, a pure fucking evil villain. And then you just become, I'm after you for reasons. I'm like, oh my god, this is so fucking ridiculous.
And then the movie calls itself out for that in defense of the movie. But then it's like, same thing with the Deadpool situation. Just because Deadpool will say, hey, this is bad writing, huh? I'm like,
okay.
Yeah, well, don't be bad writing then. Like,
so I want to have a quick discussion about that, and I'll make this quick. There's something that's starting to bother me because people, and maybe Gante will back me up on this. Something that's really starting to bother me in superhero movies is they want to call out a trope by making a joke about it. Because there's a point of the climax in which the villain is making a speech, and Shazam is far away, and he can't hear him because, of course not, because he's far away. That's it. That's the end of the fucking joke. I'm so sick of superhero movies. I'm so sick of movies in general that they are just calling out the trope and making a joke about it, but not doing anything about it. Because the movie leading up to that brings up tropes and actually fucks with them and actually does something to change the trope up. I'm like, okay, I'm glad you called this out. Because there's a lot of stuff that they call out, that they bring back, that they're actually able to make something and actually have a statement about superhero tropes. But then there's other times where it doesn't, and that's something that really starting to bother me, especially in the climax. For me, this would have been a buy it if the climax never happened.
Yeah.
That climax sends it all the way down to a stream it to me, because I was like, no, you just ruined everything that I liked about this book.
My only problem with that assessment is it doesn't deviate from any of the superhero tropes. Like, there's one thing that I try to be like, hey, let's point this out that's kind of stupid, that these people yell from like football field away and they still hear them perfectly with audio. But I thought that was way more well done and funny than what they did later on in certain other parts of the film, which was way more on the nose than even what Deadpool did. I don't know. I don't get it, because like even that one joke, it's the thing that's a staple of superhero movies. So how would you change the trope if this whole movie is based off trope after trope after trope, even down to the kids basically doing a fucking Captain Planet and separating and teaming up later to beat the bad guys, learn how their different powers.
Well, we'll be careful with
Gonzo. You can't talk about I just said the climax. I didn't go into detail.
Yeah, I gotta be careful with spoilers. But I mean, by the way, like, that's one of those typical comic book things. Like, he didn't really say exactly what happened and how it happened. How it happened was some bullshit, and like, literally, I hate that fucking ending. But we can't really talk about that. I will say though that it's like, back to the glory thing, like Juan said earlier too, and just the fact that it's like, like with these tropes, they still do the tropes, and everyone expects the tropes. Like, no one in this chat is gonna be like confused or not confused, but they're not gonna be spoiled because they're like, yeah, it's a superhero movie. But it's like when a movie stops, makes a trope last longer just to call it out, but then doesn't solve it. It's like, okay, well, movie, don't talk shit about your other movies because you just did the same thing. So don't act like you're better than Batman v Superman. Don't act like you're better than Man of Steel, because you're the same fucking thing. You're not better than that.
And that's one of the things, like, because the movie, earlier in the movie, like at the start when it's all about the superhero stuff, and it's all about like the kid, like there's a situation in which like, he saves a bunch of people and he goes, what the fuck are you doing? You caused all these fucking problems. Like, you're calling out the chauvinistic thing of a superhero. And I'm like, good, you called it out. You had to be development. I like that shit. Keep it up. Like, I honestly feel like the climax was a reshoot because it feels so different than the rest of the fucking movie. And I had a great time with the movie. When the movie is talking about real stuff, talk about people dealing in group homes. When he's talk about Billy, like, not able to let shit go, and he's just going around America at this point trying to find his mom. When he's talking about the kid that's handicapped, and it's like, people don't want to fucking look at me. I'm invisible to fucking people because they look at me and they see they just feel sorry. It's like, I hate that feeling. Like, okay, cool. You're talking about some real fucking shit. And that goes on for most of it. Like, this movie's like almost 2 hours. For an hour and a half, it's good. It's really interesting because even though it's following some of the same superhero stuff, but I've never complained about the superhero formula. I complain about certain things in that formula, but the formula itself, I'm like, whatever, I'm used to it at this point. Then the climax happens, and the only thing I'll say about the climax is I feel like they wasted every opportunity to do something cool. Well, for instance, I love Godzilla 2014. There is only one fight in that entire movie. That is the final fight, and he's fighting the two Muzos. I love that fucking fight. I think that fight's great. The movie does a bunch of other stuff, and the movie's good around it. So when the fight happens, like, okay, you only had one fight, but you made sure that fight was good. You made sure that was the best fight in the movie, and you made sure it's like, okay, you got at least some of your money's worth by watching this coolest fight. My problem with Shazam is I feel like the climax, there was not a fight scene at all. It was a bunch of people just flying up to each other, saying hi. Maybe there's a chokehold. Maybe there was a throw. And then back to jokes and politics. I'm like, I feel like you squandered. And then they do something else where they have like almost like an army versus army. I'm like, okay, cool. You can do something cool here, right? No, you're not. I'm like, that was probably what brought it from a rent it to a stream it. That climax to me just knocks so much away because I'm like, you just fucking, like, that's a fucking situation where you did a bunch of jumps and you just fell and broke your legs. You're like, you had something going. You could have done something cool, but you did nothing with the ending.
Yeah, and the thing is, there's multiple endings. Like that's the weirdest thing too. Is like you keep going like, okay, this movie was gonna end. Nope, it's not over. It's not over yet. Oh, there's another thing. Like people, even if like Ganja almost spoils something, it's like, trust me, there is 75% more ending.
There's another ending right after that.
Yeah,
there's another ending, and it's again, even if he technically spoiled a bunch of it, it squanders it so much that it's like, again, that's the best way to sum it up. Is anything that it could have had. Because I was expecting, like, I actually had almost no expectations for this movie walking in, but I had expectations that I was watching a superhero movie, so I expected something. I'm like, okay, this is a low-budget movie. You're not going to go crazy with the effects like if someone else was directing it. But I didn't get a single interesting fight scene, and that is something that bothers me in these $100 million movies. When I'm seeing fucking foreign action movies that are made for, like, $5 million, have incredible action scenes. Like, I just watched a movie recently that had an incredible fucking action scene. That movie probably cost sub $5 million. And then I see this $100 million movie that doesn't even have one. I'm like, that pisses me off more than anything.
And the one thing too, before you even leave as well, but like speaking of tropes, we need to stop dating your fucking movies. Like for instance, the Mortal Kombat references. I love Mortal Kombat. Don't suck Mortal Kombat stick.
Or the YouTube animation for no reason whatsoever, just to prove that, hey, he's becoming popular.
You guys know YouTube, right? You're young, right?
Dude, I'll take the YouTube versus like discount tube that they do in other stuff because they don't want to pay for the rights. I'll take that shit.
Or even this, and I thought in the 80s we were done with this shit. But in The Wizard, remember in The Wizard when someone plays a fucking video game on Nintendo or Super Nintendo, they're just clicking in buttons like. Man, what the fuck? They're playing Mortal Kombat X, which by the way, it's already old. It's already old.
People. Okay, no, because people play that at Evo and it's still popular in the culture.
But the thing is, they're playing this game and Shazam is just clicking every fucking button. Like, I don't know how to play Mortal Kombat. You can't do that. Tapping the buttons really fast ain't gonna do nothing.
Dude, I knew that, but I started laughing and I was like, man, that's not how controllers work. Yeah. That's not how video games work. I didn't mind it because it's like, it is like a 80s superhero trope because it's like, oh man, I'm sure Superman did something like that in the 4 fucking movies there where he just wrote really fast or did something on a typewriter really quickly because, you know, he's super fucking fast. I didn't mind it. I kind of find it funny, and I like the Raiden references because it's like, yeah, it's an electric guy. Like, of course they're going to do Raiden fucking references.
And that's fine. But then you had to take it so far where it's like, you know what? We should start having kids write the movies. No more adults, because you adults are getting on my fucking nerves.
Man,
okay?
Oh, dude, but Kirk has a point. Why did they play Injustice 2?
No, but you know what another situation is too? You're right, yeah. That would have been so fucking perfect.
That would have been way better! Dude, Raiden's already in it, and you can fucking have the other superheroes. Like, that would have been way better.
And then they throw Batman at somebody, so it's like, come on. Like, you already have the shit in there. But the thing is, that's really frustrating to me, too, that really got my fucking nerves, is they got this Asian kid. It has to be an Asian kid. And he's screaming on the headset. Dude, I've been around kids. I've been around my niece and nephews when they play Fortnite and they scream. No one screams like this fucking kid screams when he knows someone's in the room looking directly at him. And he was just in the middle of a conversation. He's like, yeah, damn it, run, screaming. No one acts like that.
The thing is, the reason that stuff didn't bother me, the whole him playing his controller super fast, the kid kind of, you know, the small little kid that even though he's one of the youngest there, he's the best at technology, is because it's something like Ganja said, it's very Disney. That's what you expect in a Disney movie. So when it happened, I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. Because again, cool. What was going on around it? There was. I'm
gonna ask you this.
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
Because explain this. The kid walks, which by the way, once again, no one gets so immersed in their video game that it can still walk with the crowd to school in the middle of fucking traffic, but this kid's doing this, and he's turning the fucking phone like it's a 6-axis PS3 controller, and he's just like going, he like diving his head with it, like holy shit, it's like a dance. He's doing that, and then the camera flips around, and they're so bad. Whoever made this movie is so fucking bad, they accidentally show the phone that, god damn it, it's off. The phone is off. That. And I screamed.
Just got, yeah.
I was in a movie theater and I screamed. I was like, the fucking phone is off. And everybody around me was like, yeah. And started like yelling shit. I'm like, I'm not the only one.
And everybody else sees it. To the screen. Everybody went and demanded their money back.
Yeah, the whole theater.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't notice that. Even if I did, I'm like, whatever. Like that. You see that all the time when people are on phone calls. I'm like, I can see your fucking phone desktop, motherfucker. Like, whatever. I got the point. He's just obsessed with technology.
Like, it's like the thing I hate about that Michael Jackson documentary where, like, they could have easily edited that woman, like, just saying her son's name right. It's like, people, I'm an editor, okay? And I'm not going to use that all the time when I talk about these fucking things. But I swear to God, it's just cutting it and saying, hey, guys, can you walk backwards and do that scene one more time? Because his fucking phone's off. Just open up a YouTube video, click it so you don't see the fucking, like, YouTube time thingy at the bottom, and just have
that would be hilarious if they did that instead.
Yeah, but like you don't even have to download the fucking actual game. You can just show a picture. You're gonna have the kid walk around like he doesn't know how a fucking phone works and just walk around and start tilting his head, looking at a blank fucking screen. Are you shitting me? Are you fucking kidding me?
That just proves to me how much this a paint-by-number film this was, where that is the one thing you're like really stunning out to you was the fact that it was in Mortal Kombat, and they just did dumb shit with that stuff and other little things. Because me personally, just the whole movie kind of pissed me off to a certain degree, that it was just a number superhero movie. And these little aspects are kind of dumb, but they were just, to me, they just were part of the whole ethos of, hey, this is what you're supposed to do in a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Again, and it didn't bug me because it was small little things that even if I did notice, it's like, whatever. There's other stuff in the movie that balanced it out enough. Again, I'm going to last 25 minutes out because that's where it dropped my rating. But one of the things I liked about it is when it's not trying to do, I guess, the quote-unquote comedy or, hey, this is how kids act in real life, because kids don't act like this in real fucking life. There's a fucking exchange in which one of the kids are skipping school. I'm like, that's not how fucking kids talk.
Yeah.
But when it's not trying to be funny and it's being real, it does really well. And it does it to the extent where I felt like this is one of the, as far as a superhero movie, this to me feels one of the most real as far as how kids would act if they were given these powers, because they're doing all sorts of stupid ass shit. And at one point they're like, well, what do we do with these powers? And I don't fucking know. I'm like, I don't actually know what I would do with these powers either. Like, yeah. I mean, yeah, I would go and fuck around, I guess, and practice and try to get good with them. But like, yeah. I mean, I don't know where crime is. Like, I don't live in a city filled with fucking crime. I mean, maybe I'll get lucky and see a fucking, someone mugging somebody. But I'm like, I don't fucking know. What am I going to do? I'm going to do random bullshit until, hey, when a villain shows up, hey, you're a villain. I have something to do. And it's like, I kind of like that about this movie. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is what would happen if we randomly got powers now. It's like, I don't know, maybe somebody that's lucky and lives in a city that's super crime-ridden has something to do. But most of us are like, shit, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, but to close this all up, you said you gave it a stream it, right? It was going to be a buy it, but you said stream it?
I was going to give it in between buy it and rent it, but honestly, the fucking climax, nothing pisses me off than squander potential. I love superhero movies. I don't mind the fucking formula because at least I know I'm going to get something interesting. And some people do the formula better than others. That's why Gon doesn't hate every fucking Marvel movie, even though he calls out the formula. It's just some movies do it better than others. But this squanders, like, if this was more of a typical superhero movie, I think the ending would have been a little more interesting, a little better, a little bit more action. And that to me is like, nothing pisses me off more than you squandering a potential for a cool fight scene. And this is what gives it to stream it. Like, you're not going to really miss anything if you don't go out and see this. Like, this is one of those movies that I feel like it's going to get forgotten for the ages until a sequel comes out.
And for me, here's the thing. I was at Rented. I was like, there's enough movie or parts in this fucking movie that are fine. But I was at an hour and 40 minutes, y'all. And this movie just got to its first ending. And then another one. And then another one. And then more jokes after them. To the point where I got up and I started walking out. My mom was like, no, you got to watch this for the show. And I was like, fuck. And I sat back down. Then I walked out at the very last bit. I don't even know. People were talking about like the last scene. I actually didn't see the last actual scene. I walked out. I couldn't fucking take it anymore. It's too fucking long. And because of that, the fact that the reason why it was longer is because you wanted to reuse a 3-minute clip that you already showed in the fucking movie. This is why I hated The Handmaiden. That's like my 25% reason why I hated The Handmaiden. And that's something I see in a lot of these fucking movies. Then the speeches that you also Like, you just put a different kid in the same situation and did the exact same scene, and it took just as fucking long. I'm sorry, movie, but fuck you. This isn't Avoided. That is some bullshit. I would never have someone go, hey, watch this 2 hour and 10 movie that should be an hour and a fucking half. And even then, it's still a little long. Pick a fucking genre too, by the way. Like, I'm so fucking sick of DC and how much they want to like make you feel sorry for somebody, make you feel intense, make you feel horror, and then make jokes. What fucking movie are you? So, anyways, yeah, avoid it, Ganja. Take it away. You're the main event, sir.
Well, me personally, I've kind of been bashing this whole time so much as you guys. Alan's kind of been more forgiving, but me personally, I'm going to say I rented to almost a low, just avoid it. Because it's no different than any of the superheroes. The only thing that's added is a little bit more. It's more of a PG Deadpool. So you got more of innocent jokes, and it's a little bit more funny in terms of like how many people it can entertain in terms of general audience. But besides that, it really doesn't deviate from any of the superhero formula, down to the big battle where they push through each other through buildings. It was we talked about it like it was scene to scene with the Superman fight. It really was, except this was done very more cheaply. So when it comes to this, it's honestly rent it or avoid it. It doesn't need to be part of the main branch of DC superheroes. You don't have to go see this. And from what I hear, the Justice League thing got canceled or pushed back, so they don't even know what the fuck to do with that. So if you don't really want to watch this film, don't go watch it, yo.
Yeah, really don't. Don't even watch it on fucking TV. This is too long. Imagine this with commercials. Fucking, that'd be a whole goddamn day. This is bullshit. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm sleepy. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go sleep.
Yeah.
God
Hey,
damn
so
it.
what I miss?
I don't know.
Everything.
Shazam. Here's the thing, though. Speaking of Jet being over here, Saturday. I don't know if you're down for this, Jet, but I'm thinking that you and I should talk on Saturday about Mob Psycho 100. I was gonna say My Hero Academia.
I'm supposed to talk about a good anime. Now you're fucking up and talking about a bad one.
No, that's
First
actually
of all, you like My Hero Academia, so shut your goddamn mouth.
Yeah, because it's a good one. Whatever trash y'all watching.
Yeah.
Whatever trash y'all watching.
Wait, why are you laughing? Why are you laughing like that? My Hero Academia is good.
We stand character development in this house, and the only character development that's going on in that show is fucking Bakugo, which a lot of you guys don't even like.
Wait,
I never disliked
talk
Bakugo.
shit.
He's a fucking asshole, but I still like him.
I don't like
There's a lot of development in that show.
You better not talk
No,
shit about
they're
My
not.
Hero
But no,
Academia.
because Jet is the fucking hipster anime person that as soon as something becomes popular in the West, she immediately hates it.
Hunter's
all fucking
popular,
do
and
that.
I also still like Naruto.
Not
so
as popular
There you
as
go.
fucking-
Stay being wrong, Alan. Stay being wrong.
You stay wrong. I'm gonna skip the intros twice just to piss you off.
So you're gonna go back and just skip it?
Yep,
That's taking
just
a lot of your time, Alan. That's
not
the
really.
Thing. If you skip
only
the
takes 3
intro
seconds.
for Alan,
It'll take 3 fucking seconds, and I'll do it with you in the fucking call because you
the
can't
reason
stop
that you
me.
skipped the opening was not to waste time, but you're gonna go back.
1 second's not gonna
skip it.
matters.
Yeah, it still matters. It still
No, it
matters.
doesn't
Alan.
if it
That's still
pisses
wasting
you
time.
off, if it
You are
grinds your
wasting
fucking
time.
gears.
And the thing is, I hope
Just
when
'cause
you
you're
go back,
loud doesn't
that
mean
shit
you're right.
freezes, and then you're gonna be like, "Why did I do that in the first place? That was dumb as hell."
Yeah, why am I watching anime with Jet?
No, you
Who
need
said
to,
you were watching that with me?
you need to at
That's
least
why I would
watch
skip the
these.
intros twice just to piss you off.
Just the first intros.
But I'm not gonna see it.
Just the first intro.
Exactly.
That's all you gotta do is just the first intro. What? Why?
Just the intro.
Why?
No, because time on the clock. Those intros are like
Oh,
a
you
minute
spend
and a half.
time on the cock.
I said clock.
I mean,
but
he does like to spend time on a cock.
I know.
Don't help out your brother. Let him
How
lose.
about my brother? Especially
Chuckle, chuckle, chuckle.
Let him lose.
But here's
Never.
the thing, though. Saturday, past Sematary, we're gonna be talking about Hellboy remake. That's gonna be Alan talking about the Hellboy, the new one, and then Jet.
Wait, none of y'all are gonna watch it with me?
I'm not
Wow.
watching that shit.
Hellboy look like?
Fine. I see how fun. I thought at least Nick would watch it with me.
Maybe I might watch. Fuck that. No, I'm not. But the thing is, though, we're also gonna be talking about My Hero 100, the first season. It was fucking awesome. What?
My Hero 100.
God damn.
We're not watching both them shows in that little amount of
Like My
time.
Hero 100.
Mob Psycho 100. Why am I fucking up so much today? I'm so sleepy. I gotta get the fuck out of here. Zone Blade, thank you very much for watching so much. You're in the chat talking up a bunch. Peter Parker over there. Ryan Wilderson just said Missing Link Saturday. If not, he'll come on and review it. Oh my goodness gracious. He's gonna be talking about Missing Link. I don't even know what the fuck that is. I know it's probably bad. Oh yeah, get the fuck out of here, Contra Guru on that 3.
3,
on that
2, 1, attack the.
Anyway, in this house,
Lots of trains.
we stand character development in this house. Not
Yeah.
no trash. We stand character development.
We also
Wait,
skip
what house
intros
are
in
we
this house.
What?
We skip intros in this house.
No, we don't.
Oh no, that's up to
You're
you.
the only motherfucker skipping intros.
I was one time, I think it was